Hello and welcome to the Trentino region of Italy for round 5 of the IFSC Lead World Cups 2016. I'm Charlie Bosco, I have USA climber Ahmed Torre alongside me, and we are live in Arco. Hosted international games for 30 years and home thousands of sport climbs, Arco is climber. It's sold down to the Trentino of Italy and sits just a few kilometres from the shore of Lake Garda. It is home to 18,000 people. Arco sits at just 91 metres above sea level. Conditions this week stiflingly hot times, but fortunately our wall is in the shade for most of the day, much like the crag you can see on your screens right now. And Ahmed, for viewers who may not be aware of you and what you do, just quickly explain which disciplines you compete in and what you do as a climber.
Yeah, no problem. So I mainly focus on speed climbing. That's just the thing that I do. In the U.S., we don't really have all that much, opportunities to get on a speed wall, not as much as we do in Europe. But, whenever I do, I can. And anytime I can come out here to compete, I definitely do. And didn't do so hot today, but, got Bercy coming up pretty soon as well. So we'll see what we do there.
And you also can compete in lead and boulder. You're kind of an all-round athlete.
Yeah. I definitely try, like with the nationals and everything over in the U.S. and didn't make it this year for that, but I did make it for speed, so I'm just going to compete my heart out with that and see how it goes.
And you can see on your screen here the start list for today's semi-final. We've got 26 men and 26 women, no ties towards the end of the order. Just remember that the climbers come in reverse order, so if you qualify first from the qualifying round, you climb last in the semi-final, and we can see there the men. A few names such as Romain Legrange, you might expect it to have been climbing slightly later.
Got Sean Bailey as well.
Yes, Sean Bailey, who was in the commentary box last week in Imst. I have to say in slightly different conditions. And here's the start list for the women. Again, no great surprises low down. Dinara Factor de Nova might have expected to be slightly higher, as might Charlotte Jarif. But all the big names made it through just fine in the women's competition.
Oh, there go the athletes now.
Yeah, and the athletes are out. There they are. Remember that they have an observation period. We mentioned this last week in the semi-finals in Imst. We didn't actually show you on the live stream the observation period, and I promised we would, because it is quite amusing actually when there's 52 climbers out the stage all examining at the same time. And Ahmed, when you go out and you're examining a route like this, how much are you trying to memorize? Is crux moves, the whole thing?
So really you're really focused on those crux moves. Any moves that you might find really difficult later down the line, because when it comes to lead, it's mainly endurance. You're going to be climbing up the wall, like most of the stuff you should be able to get through, but then you've got one or two crux moves that are going to give you some trouble. And you're right about this observation period. It's really something to watch. You can see like some of the athletes from different countries, like they're all really helping each other out, and that's what's really cool about this sport. You get athletes from all over the world just trying to do their best, so it's a give and take kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic. As I say, there's an irresistibly slightly comical element to it, just trying to fit so many climbers on the stage. But it's interesting watching. Often the climbers kind of stick to their teams. We can see Team France, Team Germany, Team Austria just discussing the routes.
That's right. Yeah.
Delaney Miller, Team USA.
There she is.
You are allowed to cheer for her. Don't worry.
Yeah,
within reason.
good.
Within
That's
reason.
Good. I'll try. I'll try to contain myself.
Yeah, Delaney was in the commentary box in Chamonix, I believe it was. That already feels a long time ago. She did a great job, but she was over the moon to make it into the semi-final. She's had a few results she was disappointed with this year. Yesterday, definitely one of her better days.
Yeah, it's funny, we were having dinner the other night, and I came in a little late, so I didn't get to see her on her qualifying run. But apparently she timed out, and Delaney is she's known for going a little slower, So
well, hey, it works for Jane Kim.
Yeah, it works. No, it works. She was telling me that during the there was a nice little undercling that she just rested on for a long time. She felt like she deserved that little bit of rest. You know?
Yeah, she climbed brilliantly yesterday, Delaney. Another person that competes in multiple disciplines. She's also a pretty handy speed climber.
Yeah, she's been training quite a bit for that, actually, with the Canadians, I believe. Yeah.
Let's just have our first look at the men's route there.
Yeah.
So this lower section, we saw in IMPS last week, a relatively complicated start, slightly more straightforward this time. But as we get up onto the volumes, which are just about to come into your shot, there they are, the green volumes. That's where the nature of the route changes. And in between those two green volumes, there's a big, round red volume. And the route setters believe that's where we might see the first falls. Unless someone makes a major mistake low down, we think it'll be those volumes.
I agree. That red sloper is not fun to deal with. That's going to be a really technical portion of the climb. But you're right. Right in the beginning there, it's a very left-right sequence. Doesn't seem like too complicated. We'll get them nice and high before, so that way they don't feel a little bit, I guess scared to deck or anything like that.
Yeah, it's always tricky when you have really difficult technical moves right near the ground. And this time, I think the route setters have been relatively sympathetic. And we can see there the top out. So the final few moves to the anchor, particularly tenuous. As ever, the route setter's hoping we get 2 or 3 people onto that final section and one to the top. That's what they always hope for.
Yeah, it should be very exciting to watch.
Well, it's great to be here in Arco. This is the 30th anniversary of the first international climbing competition here. Extraordinary history, and in some ways it's the home of competition climbing. It's been a great few days here. The weather's been like... Sorry, go ahead.
I learned the other day that it's also with kind of the birthplace of speed climbing as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
got a very interesting history with that. Yeah.
And they've been sport climbing here about 40 years. I was about to say the only issue is the weather. It is, if anything, too hot.
It is really warm. I was not expecting that.
I come from the north of England. We don't cope well with this.
Yeah, that's that British sun is not really there all too often, is it? It's a rarity.
I'm coming out in either a rash or sunburn. I'm not quite sure. And there we are. There's me with my umbrella. Good British climber, always take my umbrella. Not normally for the sun.
You bring your sunscreen?
I've actually left my sunscreen in the in the other room. I know.
Can't do
Hence
that.
the umbrella. But as I say, you start climbing in Britain, you always bring your umbrella, but it's not normally to protect you from the sun.
Yeah. You came prepared, somewhat.
Always prepared, just forgot the sun cream. I think I've got a beanie in the car. So just to recap, as part of Arco, this is part of the huge Rockmaster Festival. As I said, it's been going for 30 odd years, and last night we had the Arco Rock Legends presentation, where they give out awards for the most impressive climbing achievements of the previous year. Mina Markovic, reigning lead World Cup champion, she won the competition award. Yanni Gambra and Adam Ondra also nominated. Adam's won it a few times already. Danny Andrada won the Rock Award, and Marco Scolaris, the president of the IFSC, won the Climbing Ambassador Award just a few weeks after sport climbing was accepted into Tokyo 2020 as an Olympic sport.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time for climbing in that way. Me and a whole bunch of other people in the United States were just, could not be more excited.
From a personal point of view,
Yeah.
how does it change your approach to climbing and your approach to training? Is it in the back of your mind, or do you just try and not think about it for another season or two until the selection process gets underway?
I've actually been thinking about it a lot just since the day that it got accepted into the Tokyo Olympics. The very next day I started, running, doing all sorts of training for that. And it's also part of the reason why I'm out here right now. Get more experience, get on the speed wall, get on the 15, since in the U.S. we only really have a couple of those in the entire country. And also just working on getting stronger so I could get into bouldering and into sport.
We can see there, we just saw briefly our crowd here in Arco all gathered under the shade. And I mean, you've been climbing here on the wall. What are conditions like? It's in the shade, but it's still warm, hey?
Yeah, it's very warm, especially a little earlier with the speed. The sun was hitting us pretty directly. So that was a little rough, especially at the start, just trying to find the holds in general. The glare from the sun is driving you crazy. But, you do what you got to do. Everybody's working the same conditions, so, can't whine about it. Just got to keep going.
We can actually see our wall. We're just around the corner from it, and both the men's and women's routes are in the shade right now, and we're a couple of minutes away from seeing our first climber. So the first climber out in the men's competition, he'll get a warm welcome. Alberto Gotta of Italy, and we'll have Nicky van Bergen of the Netherlands will be out on the women's route. So as you look at the wall there, the men's semi-final route is on the right, the extreme right on the light grey panel with the red holes, and the women's route is on the left-hand yellow panel. And we can see across the Arco Valley. We're just a couple of kilometres from Lake Garda here. I think if you're talking about coolest places to live in Europe, Arco would have to be right up there. Windsurf, climb, hike, paraglide, you name it. Don't forget, go ahead.
No, people recommended this spot more than any other comp actually to me, which is why I'm out here right now. So, I don't know, just driving in I took the bus the other day, and as soon as I saw it, I was just like, I get it now. I get it. This is one of the most beautiful places on the planet.
How have you got on with the Italian cuisine?
Oh, I've always loved Italian food. The other day I had some penne ariagata. I think that's how you pronounce it. But it's this spicy penne pasta with a little tomato sauce and all that.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Arco is one of the
Yes,
easiest World Cups to come to when it comes to feeding yourself.
Absolutely.
Sport for choice. Don't forget, if you want to be in touch with us during this semi-final, get yourself on Twitter, #IFSCWC. If you've got any questions for Ahmed, as a all-round IFSC athlete, USA climbing team member, get yourself on there. Let us know what you think about the semi-final, and make sure you send over any questions you might have. Just clearing the stage. There's Angelo in the background, just about to disappear. There he goes. He's been organising this competition since it began, the Arco Rock Masters, so that is 30 years. It's estimated that climbing in general, the Rock Master being part of that, is worth around 30 million euros per year to Arco as a town.
Oh, wow.
And I think Angelo can take a lot of credit for that. You can see here some of the famous cliffs of Arco. I believe there's over 3,000 sport climbers in the valley. Wouldn't be surprised if there's actually more than that. Incredible place.
Yeah, it's amazing to see an entire town, or entire city, really just backing climbing so fervently.
It's great for us when we go to climber towns. We've been to Chamonix already and Innsbruck, and Arco is very much one of those towns. And here's our first climber out, Nicky van Bergen of the Netherlands. Not a country you would necessarily expect to breed good climbers. But Nicky safely into the semi-final here. As I say, the climbers climb in reverse order. So if you qualify 26th, as Nicky did, you climb first today.
She's got a good pace going on over here.
Yeah, she's only appeared in one World Cup this year, but she made the semi-finals there as well, 16th in Vila. So, although she only qualified 26th, you'd expect her to finish slightly higher. 19th in Kran at the end of last season. And this is our first look at this women's route. It's a really varied route, actually, this women's route. Starts off relatively low angled and relatively straightforward, but there's a really physical pinch section in the middle third.
Exactly. Here we got the first bit of hesitation, I see. Oh, but she got through it. There she goes.
Yep, so she'll pull onto this slightly steeper second section shortly after this volume. This is another tricky section coming off this volume. You've really got to go for that move.
There it is.
It's a good hold you're going for, but you've got to commit to it. And we can see there on the men's route, Alberto Gotta.
Getting into that first crux section.
Yeah, so we mentioned it on the men's route. We couldn't quite see it from the previous angle. There's a big round red volume in between the two green volumes on the men's route, and that's where the route setters believe we'll see the first falls. Alberto just take his time to negotiate it, and Nicky van Bergen slipped off before we had a chance to see the pinch section. We'll focus on Alberto for now.
And there
see
he goes.
the big red round volume. So Ahmed, we've got a
all right.
we've got a question for you.
Oh yeah.
From Joe, the social media man who keeps getting shout-outs these days. He's becoming quite famous. He wants to know who you think will podium today. I think that's a hard question given how unpredictable this year's been, but
I agree.
if you're betting, if I give you €10 and you had to go down to the betting shop.
If I had to guess who's going to podium today. Well, with females, I mean, a little biased, honestly. I got to give a shout out to my main girl, Delaney Miller. Like, I really hope she makes it. But if I had to guess,
Well, Ahmed thinks about this. Don't forget, let us know on Twitter what you think the podium will be. Hashtag IFSCWC. What do you think the podium will be? Harsh question. It's been a really unpredictable season this year, but it's fun to guess. Netta Fredman is out on the women's route. We talked about her quite a bit in IMS last weekend in the semi-finals. As Alberto Gotta comes off just above that two green volume section. Yeah, we talked quite a lot about Netta. It's a thriving competition scene in Israel, a rock climbing scene in general. Very good outdoor climbing, I'm told. I've not yet been, would love to go. We've got Alex Kazanov doing well in the bouldering and the commentary box. So yeah, climbers coming from Israel more and more. Great to see such a spread of nationalities, and Netta very much part of that. Not climbing at quite the same pace of this early section as Nicky van Bergen did. But still making steady progress. As I say, the lower
she's
section.
Very relaxed.
Yeah, the lower section of both men's and women's routes is, I would never want to say easy, but relatively straightforward and relatively easy to read.
I think I've got my bet though, for sure.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, I think we got Jakob Schubert. He's definitely going to podium. I think Adam, I think he'll make it. He's just shy of it, right now, just in placement, but he comes out with big things when it comes to semis and finals. You can't go wrong with that. Andre Yell. Zad! And once again, a little biased, but I really hope Sean makes it. He's been
Sean Bailey.
Sean Bailey, yeah, he's been doing really well lately. He just got his first 15 over in Chamonix not too long ago. So
yes.
Yeah, really hoping he comes out with something big today.
Yeah, he's been climbing brilliantly.
Yeah. And then on the women's section, I guess Yana will she'll definitely podium, and I think Mina we're gonna see.
Mina Markovic, you think?
Yeah, I think we're gonna see some things out of her. I was talking with Delaney the other day, and they've been training together quite a bit, and she's I definitely trust Delaney's word, and she has been very impressed with the progress and how well she handles herself on the wall. So.
Yeah, Mina Markovic, she didn't have the starts of the season she wanted. She didn't look like the climber we saw in 2015, and when we spoke to her in IMST, she said she pretty much lived in a gym.
Yep.
Since the previous competition.
Yep.
As we watch Netta, you can see just above her there the pinch section I mentioned earlier.
And boom.
Again, doesn't quite make it. It's a very powerful section. The holes are reasonably good, but you've really got to commit to them. If you don't latch the first time, especially in this sort of heat, the hand that you launch from is probably going to give way. So it's really physical. And we've got a second Italian climber out already, Marcello Bombardi.
He's getting through that volume. All right. See if he gets through this volume section right over here. Come on.
So he's just making his way onto a slightly lower angle section of wall.
Looking a lot more relaxed now.
Yeah, the section above him is bad sloping holes though.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how the conditions change. It is midday, but judging by what we've had the last couple of days, it gets warmer. So it's 2-3 o'clock seems to be the warmest part of the day. So this is a kind of holes we normally see in bouldering competitions, these big volumes. And as I say...
Oh, wow. There he goes in that sloper section. Nice.
Very controlled. Very controlled. Just that lunge left.
Yep.
And he's quite a big guy, Marcello. Our B-layer just got lifted clean off his feet there as a result of that fall.
I feel like he might have made that move had he just straightened out his leg just a little bit beforehand. Might have had a little bit more control over the thrust.
He's on not a bad little run actually, Marcello. Made the semi-final in IMST, 20th place.
Yeah.
And the three previous World Cups before that this year, Chamonix, Milan, Briançon, he just missed out, 27th in Chamonix. And just earlier on, as we watch Claudia Ghisolfi, sister of course of Stefano. When Ahmed mentioned earlier on, Adam Ondra is back in the IFSC World Cup, so we don't want to dwell on him too much. There's 26 other men and 26 women, but there's no doubt that Adam Ondra is a big draw. He won the overall World Cup title last year, and he's back in Arco. We had a quick chat with him yesterday. You can see that interview on the IFSC Facebook page. Don't forget, speaking of social media, if you're just tuning in, Ahmed Torre, Team USA Climber, is alongside me. Get yourself on Twitter, #IFSCWC if you have a question for him, or you want to let us know who you think who you think will be on the podium this evening.
Yeah, I want to know what everybody else is thinking about that.
You didn't go for any left field choices. I'm going to see.
No,
we might see something just totally random thrown in there.
Consistency is, it's consistency. It's what
consistency is consistent.
Yeah.
Claudia,
you're right. You never know what could happen out here. And it is a warm day too.
It is a very hot day. Conditions here have been really hot in Arco. As I say, you can see that the wall is in the shade, but we're in the shade, and it's still pretty warm here.
Yeah.
Claudia Ghisolfi, she looked a little hesitant a bit lower down. Seems to be finding her rhythm. And out in the men's competition, you can see him there, bottom right of your screen. Got Martin Bergant of Slovenia. In the funky calf shorts that the Slovenian team all seem to get. She seems to have found her rhythm here. As I said, slightly hesitant low down.
Here we go, and that big move, nice.
So that big move, all the competitors have really committed to it so far, but it'll be interesting to see as we progress through the semi-final whether that continues to be the case.
There we go, into that really pinchy section. There you go. Go, Claudia.
So this is the pinchy section we mentioned. It's relatively easy to read, but you've really got to go for it, and there's not a lot in the way of footholds. In fact, there's nothing in the way of footholds other than the pinches themselves.
Exactly. It's interesting. I can kind of see like what the route setters were thinking, like when making this, because get through those pinch sections, like really use your forearms, really like use your fingers, and then work the rest of it and see how much endurance you have left to get to the top. So if I were to get on that, I would probably get through that section pretty quickly and find a good hold that I can rest on with good feet, and then see if I can just finish out the rest before time runs out.
So you see Claudia, she's just about to launch into the first really dynamic section of this section of pinches. This section here is really interesting. I was shouting to the route setters earlier. They've intentionally not put a foothold right where you want one. So trying to figure out which foot to put where is one of the big challenges of this section. But no trouble for Claudia.
A lot of hand-foot matching.
She fired through those dynamic moves.
There we go. Good strategy, I would say.
So this is our first look in today's semi-final at this upper section of the women's route. The angle really increases here.
Yep.
The holds becomes much more crimp-based.
She'll have to get through that section as well. So let's see if she decides to shake out a little bit longer. Yep. All right, there she goes.
So she's moving up. This huge blue triangle of volume makes a good landmark on this upper section. Be interesting to know how much time she's got.
And there she goes. I think she's going to fire through this crimp section. Just get through that really quick.
Really powerful after what's followed it as well.
Yeah.
Doubly difficult, but she's not giving up without a fight.
There we go. Doing great. There we go.
So this is where it becomes really crimpy, this women's route, and Claudia Gasolfi.
See the big move then, there it is.
So I think she's pretty happy with that result. Well,
seems a little tired.
And meanwhile,
barely stand up.
Martin Bergant comes well. Sitting on the sitting on the edge of the start area. She looks exhausted as we just confirmed that Martin Bergant, he does take an early lead here, 28 plus. We haven't seen Claudia Gasolfi's updated score, but she will definitely be in a provisional lead.
Yes. There we go, 30 plus, nice. Yeah, she ought to be very happy with that.
Yeah, that was great to see. Cheered on by her own crowd. The crowd growing every minute here in Arco. The only issue being the heat of the sun.
Yeah, they should have all brought their umbrellas.
Well, I don't want to be sure anything in this.
I think they do a bit. That's it. I don't know, maybe they brought their sunscreen though.
Yeah, okay. Hanker, his teammate.
Charlotte Darif as well.
Yep, Charlotte Darif. She's a climber we might have expected to be slightly higher up the order.
I also expected her to. I kind of expected her to see her at least in the.
Yeah, they're obviously not best ESO, but I guess in the qualifiers the key is to get through, and I'd be very surprised if it was tactical. In fact, it wasn't tactical, but
exactly
may end up being beneficial because, as we've said, the heat increases between mid and 2 over the past few days. It's got hotter and hotter, so Charlotte, although yesterday wasn't ideal for her, it might actually play into her hands. I was about to say Christoph Hanke, his teammate and almost namesake Sebastian Hallenke. was also somebody that didn't climb quite as well as we might have hoped yesterday, but he did more than enough. And he'll be out 10th today, so qualified 16th yesterday.
Yeah. And at this level of climbing, that really is part of the game, is trying to figure out exactly like how much you need to give to make it into the next section. It doesn't really matter like as far as place after that, as long as you're confident in your abilities. He seems pretty confident through this section at least, like shaking out a little bit.
He's been climbing pretty well this season.
There you go.
So this is the green volume that so far all the climbers have been up towards. That's a big red round volume that we think, or the route setters think we're going to see some falls from.
Haven't seen many, honestly.
No, so far the climbers have been no problem on it.
Yeah, that's what that preview's for. Yeah. I wonder how the setters feel about that.
About what?
About fall.
It's so hard for them to. One of the route setting team here might to join us a bit later on in this semi-final.
Yeah,
They're really out exactly how many kind of fall at each point, and obviously it's not an exact science. And you see in each time read it, had no trouble. Red round volume.
And that might have everything to do with the heat.
Sebastian, his first semi-final of 2016, but he's been so close, 27th the last time out in Imst.
Shaking his head, he's not, doesn't seem happy about it.
You'd have thought, as I say, first semi-final, particularly after a week ago being so close, you might be a bit happy with that, but no, I can tell you...
A little frustrated.
Yes, Christoph Hanker is not a happy man. Untied. Here's the section on the women's route.
Seems very calm. Oh, look at that knee bar.
He's cutting himself. Yeah, she's relatively tall. Charlotte, not out of the question. She might be able to use her feet slightly differently to Claudia Gasolfi, who we saw here earlier.
Yep, no heel hook for her. Oh, well, there we go. Nah.
One word from you.
Never mind.
So Charlotte, again, that dynamic section on the pinches. The route setters thought that might stop a few climbers. We've only seen 2 climbers on it so far, but neither of them seem to have too much trouble with it. There it is. Here's old Mikhail. Just keep an eye on the top left of your screen. We're about to see the provisional results. There they are. Christoph Hanker, who we just saw, he wasn't happy, but second place. Long way to go, of course, but yeah, it was not a happy boy. Claudia Gasolfi, what a popular finalist she'd be. Comfortable lead so far. Charlotte Sharif, who's
really taking her time here.
Yeah, really taking her time, really resting.
Yeah.
The angle of this women's route does massively increase at this stage.
It's really steep here.
So for these of you...
She is looking comfortable.
Those of you just joining us, Ahmed Tawarai, member of Team USA, is alongside me. If you've got any questions for him, get on Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC. We also want to know who you think will be on the podium this evening. Let us know 1, 2, 3, men's and women's. There is no prize available. Budget issues. We'll have the pride of knowing you were right.
That's really all that matters.
Of course, yeah. Nobody wants a €1,000 prize.
No,
they want pride.
They want pride. That's just as good. That's just as good. All right. Charlotte's looking pretty comfortable here.
Time's certainly going to be an issue for Charlotte. And you can't quite see it on that shot. but we're kind of below and left of Charlotte. We've got a good view of her face, and she's beginning to look quite tired. You can see there as her hair blows around. There's a bit of a breeze picking up here in Arco. We need it. Very, very hot the last couple of days, but it's getting a bit windier. Might slightly neutralise the effect of the increase in temperature as this semi-final goes on. The shouts of Ali Charlotte. She launches into this upper section.
There we go. All right.
Still no climbers venturing onto the very top section, but that should put her in an early lead.
Yes. You got a smile on her face. She seems pretty happy with that.
Let's have a look. Unfortunately, she's got her back to us. Be interested to see her reaction. Certainly not as annoyed as Christoph Hanke looked. He's absolutely furious. She's pretty happy with that.
Yeah, they have a pumpy section after pumpy section, with that knee or with that heel hook and like Gaston, like double Gaston, like as a rest. That's all they got before that second pumpy section. You can definitely tell, especially with Charlotte over there, who, she's known to get through like those pumpy sections.
We were focusing on Charlotte Jurif until the last few moves from him, but venturing onto that very steepest section of the wall actually goes past horizontal, if that makes sense. It actually starts to slope back down towards the crowd just after where we saw Mikau come off. Let's have another look at that. Full commitment here. I don't think it's actually there, but he didn't quite the best. Another look. This is cool. So you can see the red bolt on he's going for. And I think he looks like he found possibly the best bit, but just such a dynamic move. Be interesting to see if any other climbers manage to make that work statically. Here's Kokoro Takata from Japan. Hometown of Tokyo, the IFSC will be the sport climbing will be an Olympic sport. I still can't quite, every time I say that I can't quite believe it. Fantastic.
I know, right? Exciting time for us all.
We don't yet know, if you're wondering by the way, what the selection process will be for the Olympics, how the climbers will be chosen, but it will be 20 men and 20 women. They'll be competing for one medal, one gold medal, and they'll be doing all three disciplines, lead, boulder and speed. Beyond that, what the weighting of each event will be and how long the event will cover, we don't know, but it will be 20 men, 20 women, and they're competing for one gold medal across all three disciplines.
Yeah, there's been interesting debate about that on the interwebs and beyond. People are a little, some people are skeptical about the whole cumulative scoring thing, having speed as part of that. And I don't know, I have my opinions as well.
I like it personally. I think
I agree.
It's a true test of an all-round climber.
I agree.
And speed is possibly the least understood, if you like, discipline in climbing, but
yes,
in a way,
in
a way, I think it's the most Olympic. It's the most understandable. Put in front of three quickest top, and if you get beat, I think it's really got a. Personally, I'm really happy that it's going to be across all three disciplines. It's not easy to get, of course. Decathletes and heptathletes are considered the best all-round athletes in the Olympics as it stands. I think if you win the gold medal in Tokyo, you'll be the best all-round. That's my 2 pence.
I have to agree with you, especially on the speed angle, because really, if you're going to compare it to any other sport that's in the Olympics right now, I would compare it to the hurdles. You have like many like sections of the speed route where you can mess up, but at the same time you're going for speed, and everyone's got the same holds to deal with. It can't really get any more clear than that.
Good, really enjoyable parts of the whole Olympic experience is getting people who are new to the sport interested in lead and bouldering and speed, and explaining how it works and helping them to understand some of the intricacies. But as I say, I think speed is certainly the easiest to understand to a non-climbing audience.
Yep. Whoever gets to the top first wins. That's it.
Absolutely. It's very core of the first climb clip that right. She only just made it. You see the disadvantage of being slightly shorter.
This is very interesting beta. Oh, couldn't quite make the left.
Another bottom right of your screen, we've got Francesco Vetterata, Italian climber, and he's already
making it through. Making it through the roof section.
Yes, he's already going to take an early lead. This will go down well with the local crowd.
Oh, he seems very comfortable up there.
So you can see top left of your screen.
Doing very well.
Those results will change.
Oh, with the toe hook, very good.
Really nice and controlled climbing from Francesco Vetterata. Looked really smooth through that section.
You might see our first top over here, man.
Had a chat with him last night. Seems very relaxed. Enjoying competing in front of a home crowd. And it's certainly working for him right now. It's by far the furthest we've seen anyone. He's through the steepest section of the route.
Clip. Come on. Really had to go for that clip, but let's see if he pulls it together.
You can tell he's absolutely on his limit with that left hand.
Yep. And that'll put him in the lead. That's a terrific burn by Francesco.
That's great. Let's have another look at this final move. It looked as if he almost knew he wasn't going to make it, but
he went for something. That
was brilliant. Be interested to see if that's enough. The route setters always hope you get one or two, or maybe 2, 3, 4 climbers onto that upper section and one top. That would be ideal for them.
Yep.
Francesco made a big statement early on in this semi-final. Meanwhile, another strong Slovenian. They just keep breeding them, don't they? Rebecca Carmin is out.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Just saw, you could just shout into one of the officials. Big smiles. I think he knows. Remember the final going for 8 slots in the final. And I expect Francesco might have done enough. Obviously, a very long way to go here.
Speaking of the Slovenian team, I had the pleasure recently of getting to hang out with, I'm not sure if he's still coaching for them, but Roman, the Slovenian head coach, and terrific guy, just cranks out champions. Like it does. Considering how small the team is and how consistently he sends athletes to World Cups, he's doing something right.
Yeah, he's one of the characters on the tour.
Yeah.
That's for sure. A man that could lead you astray in the after party if you allowed him to.
He's done that to me actually a little bit. Yeah, especially around like good finger food. Yeah. Yeah. No. I remember we were sitting around one day and he just comes over. He's like, "Hey," like with a plate in his hands, and he turns it like just nudges me a little bit. Turns it like I turn around and there are a bunch of chocolate little mini eclairs around. And he's just like, let's take them. Let's take them. Like we just fill our plates and just run away.
Yeah, but what he was trying to do was get you to put weight on so his athletes win. Maybe this is how he works. This is how he operates.
That's that's very covert right there.
He does that to all the main rivals. Yeah. Jakob Schubert's always being off in chocolate eclairs. He's slowed down a bit.
It doesn't seem to.
No, it doesn't seem to slow him down too much. Actually, we had a day filming with Jakob Schubert. We'll come to Kachiro Koronaga in just a second, but we had a day filming with Jakob Schubert last week. We produced a really nice, if I may say so myself, 5-minute profile of him. You'll be able to see that on the IFSC Facebook page in the coming weeks. Filmed in a beautiful crag called Artsberg Klam, high above Telfs in the Inn Valley. Make sure you check that out. So, here's Kachiro.
Chiro looking really comfortable through that section. Very relaxed.
Yeah, he's just got a nice, slow, steady pace, Kachiro. Another man, I'd imagine, with one eye on his home Olympics. Had a few questions about these Vertix sleeves that Kachiro wears. They're a
Compression
functional
bands, yeah.
Yeah, functional round knitted sleeve. Certainly seems to be working for him. He's had a good season so far.
Yeah. I haven't tried those, but I mean, if it's doing anything to work out the pump while he's on the wall, then it's definitely useful, especially through sections like this.
Yeah, you've seen the Vertix sleeves more and more on climbers. Kachiro, one of their main athletes, so they've actually got a stall here in Arco Town Centre. Very friendly they are too.
There he goes, getting through that volume. Looking confident. There we go.
You're not setting the pace of some of the climbs we've seen so far.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be staying put in any particular section though, so he does keep moving.
I was saying earlier what a good season he's had. Already second in Vila, and then in a way the worst, 9th in Shelly, 9th in Ips.
Ugh, just missing finals, yeah.
Yeah, but earlier in August, it is still August, isn't it? Just about.
He's looking to do it today.
He won the Asian Continental Championship, so very, very good season for him so far. And as Ahmed rightly said, hasn't really been troubled by any section so far. That was the
very consistent
dynamic move up to there's a red bolt on the right hand side of that yellow volume.
This is really the first time I've seen him rest at all. And there, never mind, spoke too soon. There he goes. Oh! Oh, that's,
that was a bit of a tough one to take, climbing so well up to there.
Yeah, I don't think he, was that a foot slip or what?
Let's have another look at this.
Yeah, just seems like his left foot kind of slipped and carried him off the wall there.
Friction won't be amazing right now.
And we got Delaney Miller.
And we just, so that pinch section there, just stopping Rebecca Carmin. Now you can talk about Delaney Miller.
Oh, with pleasure. Delaney I've known for quite a while, actually. It's funny. She's come a long way, like since she was in like competing in youth.
Just keep an eye top left of your screen. We're going to see the updated results. So Charlotte Jarif, she does take a fairly comfortable early lead. Claudia Gisolfi, she'd be a popular finalist, as I said.
Delaney, you'll see her go very slow. She does not get pumped. I've never seen it happen. She can hang on the wall all day, and she will just be fine.
She's got a built-in Vertix sleeve, I think.
Yeah, it must be.
So as you see there, it's that slow, steady approach. Most of the women so far powered up this lower section. One or two take it a bit slow, but Delaney's certainly the slowest so far. But
yeah, you will not see her powering through it. She'll sit there like on pretty honestly heinous holds, and she'll just hang on them, and she'll be able to do it until she figures out the section.
You are just joining us. Ahmed Torre, Team USA, is alongside me and about to be very biased indeed as Delaney Miller progresses up this route. If you are having a few issues with the live stream, I believe some people are, but other people it seems to be working fine apparently. Apologies for that. As ever, we are dependent on our internet connection. It's always the same kit and always the same people doing our live stream. There's not a lot we can do about the internet. We are trying, so apologies if you're having some skipping.
And there goes Delaney making it through that section. There you go. But like I said, she's been she's really come a long way since her youth career. She's definitely getting out of her own head a lot more, and she seems like much calmer and not taking.
Just explain that for me when you say getting out of her own head.
Oh, she kind of used to take herself a little more seriously than she does now, and she's seeing the fun of. She definitely sees the fun of it all, and it's funny. It just in the U.S. at least, I'm not sure how it works in the other, the European countries how it works, but you'll see kids kind of burn out. They'll do very, very well in their youth career, and then they'll just drop off the face of the earth. But Delaney has really come into her own, and really proving herself in the European circuit. So yeah, I'm proud of her.
Yeah, she's had, I think you'd have to call it an up and down season. 19th in Chamonix, then dropped to 45th in Villars. I remember seeing her backstage in Villars. She was, I think it'd be fair to say, not a happy woman.
No. And that's fair. That's but you gotta, you can either let that bring you down, or you can just say, all right, just gonna dust myself off and do better on the next one.
Yeah, and then she 12th in Briançon, and then 27th, heartbreaker in Imst.
Yeah.
Just missed the semis. So
just missed it.
A good one, a bad one, a good one, a nearly good one. I think I would summarize that as.
Yep, up and down. It's a roller coaster.
Hails out of Frisco, Texas, not Frisco, Colorado, which I originally thought. Frisco is just near Vail, where we had a Boulder World Cup. Super cool town, but no, she's from Frisco, Texas.
That is right.
Well, not even just.
Right. It's definitely Texas. Even when it rains, it's hotter than this. So.
Thomas of France out on the men's route.
Let's hope he gets his leg out of that.
Yeah, he's just got the rope looped around his leg. He might not be able to make it out. He's on the bottom right of your screen.
There he goes. All right. That's always scary as an athlete. And there goes Delaney. Oof.
So Thomas, we see him bottom right of his screen working through the roof. He's had a very good season. Sorry, Thomas. Made every semi-final. He's made a podium in Villars.
See if that gets him far enough.
Delaney just fell on those moves, moving up towards the pinches. Just going to have another look at Thomas' fall here. Let's have a look. So Kachiro Koronaga fell from here. His feet were in a different position, but looked like he just tried to switch position and couldn't quite make it work. But yeah,
rushed it a little bit.
Kachiro is slightly further back than that, but not too far off. We see Delaney. Delaney's still looking up at the route, trying to figure what went out, what went wrong. It's just as he swung the right arm around there, Thomas. So next on the wall we have Dinara Fakhtudinova of Russia. We don't have the updated results just yet, but we'll get them to you shortly. And I'm pretty sure
Jiwan Park up next.
I'm pretty sure Delaney Miller is not on 58 plus. Apologies, clearly a few issues with the scoring system. She is not in the lead. Ignore
not
that.
Quite as much as I'd like to believe that.
Yeah,
as much as
Ahmed Torre, who's alongside me, he would be doing a little jig if that was the case.
Unfortunately
for Delaney, that is not the case. She is not leading right now.
We still got time. Sean will come up. Hopefully he gets me to do a little jig.
Yeah, Sean Bailey was with me in the commentary box in Imst. What a trip to Europe he's had. Climbed biography at Seus, Chris Sharma's legendary 9A plus, 15A in American money. Not a bad tick on your sport climbing holiday, it has to be said. I've been to the bottom in biography. I think that's probably as far up as I'm ever going to get. It's actually quite embarrassing to admit, but it does give a bit of an insight into how hard 9A Plus is from the ground. I couldn't actually get my weight off the floor. I got hold of the slot holes. I tried to rock on. I couldn't get my weight off the floor. Probably says more about me than the route, but still.
Hey, sometimes it's just heinous at the start. Yeah, you got a little bit of leeway like after that, but sometimes it's just hard to get up off the ground.
I suspect if I could get off the ground, I then wouldn't be able to do the next move. So probably representative of the route. So here's G1 Park, part of a very strong team career. Speaking of career, we also, last week, in a busy week in between IFSC and Arco, we filmed with Jane Kim. You'll also be able to see a profile of her appearing on the IFSC Facebook page over the coming months. Really interesting, actually, to watch Jane Kim climb outside. Climbs exactly the same as she does on plastic. I was belaying her, and to be honest, you could have just set a pace to let the rope out and kept it going, and she just kept that pace, whether she was on the crux, the warm-up section, whatever. It's really good to watch her climb outside.
That's rare. That's rare to see that.
Yeah, she came down and said, "Oh, that bit near the top was quite hard." And I thought, well, you could have fooled me.
Yeah, right? Like no slowing down to take a look at it or anything. It's just it's hard, but I'll just go. I'll go anyway.
When she chalked up, I knew it was getting hard. So we're going to see, there we have it, the updated scores. The E-Group software letting us down just a minute ago. It's back on track, so Francesco Vetterata does still hold the lead here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see the women's results in just a second. Johan Park, he's still relatively low on the route. If you're wondering if that's the big round green volume early on, it is.
Once again, very comfortable though.
Yeah.
Seems to be having good pace. Not really taking much time to rest.
Dinara Factor de Nova down on the bottom right of your screen. Great to see her back in the World Cups.
Making it to that pinchy section.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a little on the taller side as well. Let's see how she handles that.
Johan Park, again, not setting fast pace, but none of the men been timed out yet. I have to say, he might be in danger of that if he doesn't pick it up slightly. He's about.
Yep. And this.
Yeah, just adjusting now as he came down and just rehearsing that move again in his head, re-rehearsing it. Dinara Factor de Nova, by the way, is comfortably through the pinch section. Let's just have another look. What gives way here?
Yep, and there goes that right hand.
I wonder if he was going to chalk then, and he suddenly realised that the right hand wasn't quite as secure as he thought. It looked as if that he was making a small adjustment. Either way, the right hand wasn't what he thought it was.
Yep, and this heat can't be helping with a sloper at that angle. No way.
So Dinara taking a long rest here. We saw Charlotte Jarif doing the same before launching into the upper section. Here come the women's results. Keep an eye top left of your screen. There's Charlotte Jarif, we just mentioned her. Claudia Gastolfi, Kokoro Takato. Dinara, that move left didn't look like it was certain. It's actually a pretty good hole, but only on the far left, that volume. So where her right hand is not nearly as good. She's trying to match so that both hands are on the good bit, and I think she's managed it now.
It's an interesting rest position, the toe hook there.
keep an eye on Dinara. Again, fear time becoming an issue. And you can see bottom right of your screen, we don't need to be zoomed in to see who that is, Sebastian Halenka.
That hair is so metal.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, it's so metal.
Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, ask any questions to Ahmed Torre, who's alongside me in the commentary box, member of Team USA.
All the way.
Also, let us know who you think the podium will be this evening.
Yes, just the podium. Just the podium. No political questions. Oh, man.
It was really interesting being in the States early this year, actually. Politics is much more on the agenda than it has been when I've been in the past.
It's like a reality TV show, man. It's.
I was yeah. We'll just watch how Dinara gets on. She's really struggling to figure out. She's almost going for a figure of four move there that we see in ice climbing and dry tooling. Now she figures it out.
I think she was going for like a little knee bar going on with the volume there. I couldn't quite get it, but she's through it now.
You can see on her face and in her movements of fatigue. I mean, she's just slapping bowls now, but still making it work. Really determined climbing.
Yep, and there we go.
I was about to say, speaking of the States, about a week or so after Vale, I was kayaking in Lake Dillon, not too far from Vale, and we met a guy, and I said, I hope you get the result you want in the election. He said, well, we might not get what we want, but we'll get what we deserve. I don't know if I can put it any better than that. Now then, we've got a question here. Let's have another look at Dinara Facto. That was the move left onto that big volume. Just stuck that.
Yeah.
It's good job she did as well, because she battled for a lot more moves after that.
That's right.
You can tell here she was absolutely on the limit.
Yeah, starting to chicken wing it a little bit.
Yeah, Lucas Vibe. He wants to know, Ahmed, do you think coaching will become an even more important part now that all three disciplines are part of the Olympics, because you are pursuing coaching?
Yeah, that's right. I do think that anybody that does want to pursue like an Olympic career, like in climbing, is going to have to do all three. So it's going to be really important to be well-rounded in all three disciplines. So and speed is going to be included in that. Yeah, as much as people might complain about it, it's also speed climbing is more of a spectacle than anything else, and that's going to be helping a lot as far as popularity.
It's going to be, as I say, I really enjoy the speed. I think
it's fun to watch.
Possibly the most Olympic of the disciplines, as we've said, but there's surely going to be a lot of demand for your services and the services of all coaches.
Yep.
Because we got climbers that are going to have to learn. I think most climbers are going to be learning speed, but also speed climbers are going to want to know about the technicalities of bouldering and lead. So,
and then there's a whole lot of mental preparation for that as well. So it's different for everybody. Some people will get into their zone, can't talk to anybody. Like me personally, I like to just relax, not think about it like as much. And as soon as I get to the wall, it's like, okay, now it's me and the wall. Let's see if I can just like black out and see what happens. But that doesn't work for everybody, and that's where the coaching is going to kind of come in, because you're going to have to find whatever is like that kid or that person needs in order to like prepare themselves for the 2 times they're going to be on the wall.
And would you advocate different mental preparation strategies for each discipline, or do you think what works for you just works and it doesn't really matter whether you're going to be controlled lead climbing or whether you're going to be going full-on speed climbing?
I think that completely depends on the climber and just how they the sport like climbing. I've seen I know people that only climb on plastic and just live to compete, and that competitive nature just helps them get through it. Maybe some music or something like that, and then they're good to go. And some other people have like real like rituals, like they eat the specific thing before they like get on the wall. or they'll eat nothing before they get on the speed wall, and then just pig out after that. So, like I said, it's very individual, and like that's going to be a big part of it. Just figuring out what works for you, sticking to it, and just doing your best after that.
Well, I was about to say whatever Sebastian Halling has done has worked for him.
Yeah, he was doing very well. It's the hair. It's the hair, man.
He'll be in second. That'll be enough for second. But
yeah.
He is not a happy boy. He's lowered down, staring up at where he fell.
Yep. Let's see if we get another look at that. There we go. Seems like he was trying to get the heel.
That heel hook just didn't look secure enough, did it?
No.
And then he moved it to allow his hand in.
I think he was going for the hand-heel match, and then the heel popped off, tried to catch it, and it just didn't go.
Yuki Hiroshiga's out on the women's route. A bit like Delaney Miller, just take your time on this lower section. I can tell you Sebastian Halling, who's about 20 metres from us, still looking at the wall in disgust, still shaking his head.
Oh, wow.
And it's lucky we don't have a camera on him and a lip reader, because I think the air might have turned blue at the foot of this Arco wall.
A little bit.
Well, he's still in second. I mean, you'd have to say, given the calibre of the climbers still to come, that probably won't be enough, but it's not out of the question. It's certainly, I think it'd be fair to say, whether it's enough or not, he was not happy with that performance.
That is correct.
Stormed off.
Yep. It was very metal of him. Very metal.
It was a very metal tantrum, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now we're talking about the calibre of the field. Talking about the calibre of climbers still to come. Here's a man you would expect to feature in the final. Didn't have his best day yesterday, but Romain de Grange is always there or thereabouts. And we watch it's Yuki on this women's route. She's just going to begin this pinch section again. Not one of the taller climbers on the circuit, so this big move up to the right-hand pinch that she's going to go for next time will be bigger for her, than it is for some of the other athletes. There's Romain de Grange, Chamonix based, lives in Sauvos, a little village just down the road. Just down the road from Chamonix.
Yuki seems to be shaking out quite a lot.
There's our provisional results, of course. Denara factored it over, leads on account of count back ahead of Charlotte Jarif. So that big move, she made it work, Yuki. Say further for her than it is for some of the climbers.
Doesn't seem as comfortable with the dynamic movement, but as long as, she's getting through it.
So we got a question here from our social media man, Joe, who's become quite the celebrity in the last few weeks. He wants to know, which speed athletes do you think will do well in the lead and bouldering? So if we've got speed climbers who go to the Olympics in Tokyo, who do you think might fare well in the other disciplines?
Sean McCall. My God, he is great in all three disciplines. I've never seen such a well-rounded climber. Terrific guy as well. Just all around great athlete and good person. So I'm definitely hoping to see him in the Olympics, see how well he does. And then we've got, some young climbers in the U.S. that I'm thinking about as well. Like Delaney, she's still, she's starting to work her way in speed, working her way through the circuit here. And then we got girls like Claire Burfind and Grace McKeon. I expect to see them at least showing out, just see if they can make it. Grace has been one of the most consistent athletes all around that I've ever seen. We'll see her, and I think we'll see her in Mercy, I believe. But Sean McCall is definitely the first name that comes to mind when it comes to who could take gold.
I hope Sean's not watching this. Sean, if you're watching, I apologise.
Sorry for the pressure, bro.
I was about to give him a double blow by saying age may be a factor for Sean. I think you're absolutely right, but I know from personal experience that as you get towards your late 20s, early 30s, it's harder to maintain your fitness and stay injury free.
That is true. However, I don't remember the name, but I'll see gymnasts that are like 40, in their 40s still. I know there's one woman, I forget what country she's from, but actually, I forgot what country she's from, but it's like her 7th Olympics.
Well, I mean, Sean is an exceptional athlete, and I agree with you. I think he's going to be, arguably the man to beat. I mean, we're 4 years away, but arguably the man to beat. But it's
absolutely
certainly something to consider. But Great Britain had a 58-year-old gold medalist this year in the Olympics.
That's right.
Albeit in horse riding. Far be it from me to suggest the horse does most of the work, but
why didn't the horse get a medal? That's my thing.
Horse just gets a carrot and a polo mint.
I think the horse should get a giant medal. Like, I'm not saying the horse rider shouldn't get a medal as well. Just the horse needs a medal. All right.
So Romain Desgrange, we mentioned that he's going to be a serious contender, and he's proving that so
far.
Point.
Yeah.
And looking exceptionally controlled. He will take an early lead.
Let's see if we can get him to the top. Yeah.
So Francesco Vetterato, he reached that handhold that Romain has his right hand on right now. He didn't quite reach it. He went for it. So Romain comfortably in the lead.
Looking comfortable. Come on.
Not even looking tired.
There we go.
That is a top from Romain Desgrange.
First top of the day. All right.
Romain just sorted his leg out, getting it free of the rope. And he doesn't look particularly emotional, happy or sad. Just pretty
relieved
straight down the
is
line.
The word I would use. Just relieved.
That never really looked in doubt, to be honest. Let's have another look. So this looked like it was actually a bit more comfortable than it looked in real time. He really found the best bit of that top hold.
Really utilizing his breath
out of
there.
The women's route. So Romain Desgrange, not his best day yesterday.
He nailed it today.
Absolutely nailed it. Qualified 15th. It's an interesting question, actually. Do you think that all the athletes give everything in every round, or do you think a guy like Romain, he knows what he needs to do, and he maybe holds a bit back in the qualifiers, or do you think it's just too close to take that sort of risk?
I think in the semis it's a little close. You want to start getting higher. I think that everybody's got an idea of where they can fall.
But in the qualifiers, so yesterday, Romain qualified 15th. He's one of the lead climbers. Do you think there could be an element of saving a bit of energy?
I believe so. I think once again that depends on just what type of climber you are. Like me in particular, like if I'm going out all out one day, like I will be dead tired the next day. I might get on the wall, like do some easy things just to I guess recover. And but other than that, like no, if I'm gonna get on the wall, like I'm trying to go all out every time.
Now you can see as we watch Evgenia Kazbekova, you see there bottom right of your screen, Sean Bailey.
All right, Sean.
Pretty laid back character.
But he's that California boy.
On the face of it, a laid-back character, but you dig a little deeper, and there's a lot of drive in there as well.
Absolutely. Sean is one of the most laid-back guys that I've ever met in the sport. But he's a whole different person when he gets on the wall. He's very focused, very driven. Really good guy.
So we were just talking about the qualifiers yesterday and whether you would ever potentially hold something back. Just to recap, we had 7 women that topped both routes in the qualifiers yesterday.
I think it also depends on maybe the style of the route as well. Maybe it's if they get a really dynamic route and very comfortable with that, you might just go for the top just to secure it. You won't get like as tired. You know the movement really well. So at that point you might as well just top it out and ensure that you'll make it into semis. And then you can start to worry.
So Sean, again, not rushing this lower section, looks in complete control. He's about to enter what we consider one of the first tough bits of the route, as you see on the top left of your screen, the women's results, provisional results I should add. And Evgenia not having too many problems so far with that pinch section. That final move up left, it's not over till you get there really, that section.
Yeah. Seems to be cruising through it though.
There's something resembling a rest on those 2 small triangular volumes
that
she's heading for now. Saw Charlotte Jarif and Dinara Factor-Danova both taking a good rest there. Not paused there for quite as long as some of the climbers.
She's trying to get her foot a little closer without falling. There we go. All right. And now we got her rest there. All right. Sean getting over to that first sloper. A crimp, really. Seems like there's a little edge going on over there.
Again, another climber who should be used to the heat. Grew up in Seattle, but now lives in San Diego.
That is right.
And it is hot in San Diego. As we saw Evgenia just about to get onto that upper section.
And Sean is definitely living the life in San Diego, though. Just climbing and surfing. That's
God, it's a tough life in California.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. I don't know how he does it.
That's what I like about Sean, though. He never complains. Let's just have another look at Evgenia. Fatigue just kicking in, I think there. Just really slap for that hold.
Yeah, that right hand didn't seem as controlled as I think it should have been just to make the move. There goes Sean.
Yeah, I'd say, possibly the slowest climber up to this stage.
Being very careful with it. I know Sean wants to go to finals for sure.
He won't be going to finals though.
Nope, won't be doing it. That's too bad. I wanted to do my little jig.
We've all been spared the sight of the jig. Let's have a look at this. That's a really strange fall from Sean. He latched a hold and just seems to, his momentum just seemed to take him backwards.
That's right.
Quite an unusual one.
Yeah, I would say normally he'd make that kind of move. I was expecting maybe to, if he was going to fall at all, just to like fall in the root section, but it's a little early.
Here's Yasmin Golo, Team Italy.
Should see a good crowd reaction.
Yeah, it comes from Turin, not too far from here, a couple of hours down the motorway. Great town. One of the most stunning old towns in Italy. And there's our crowd, still primarily congregated in the shade, but there's some worshippers beginning to make their way out into the sunny part of the grass.
Brave ones.
Our umbrella's still doing us proud here.
It's doing all right, yeah.
Just to confirm, by the way, next climber out will be Mario Lechner of Austria. First Austrian climber we've seen today. Plenty to come, as always, in the league competitions.
Very strong athletes.
There he is. Mario Lechner comes from Searle. It's about 10 k's west of Innsbruck. And on the top left of your screen, keep an eye out about to see the men's results, with Romain de Grange at the top of them. There he is. Francesco Vetterata holding on to second. Yeah, Mario Lechner. Zierl is right underneath one of the big famous rock faces in Tyrol, the Martinswand. Home to some of the hardest sport climbs in Tyrol, so no excuse for not being a top climber if you come from Zierl. So I've got a question for you on Twitter here.
Yeah.
It comes from A, the letter A.
Okay.
That must be quite a sought after Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Whoever
Anonymous.
Yeah. Which, sorry. A wants to know if you have any tips for getting better at locking off or clipping.
Locking off and clipping. I would say negatives are really good for locking off.
Just explain what you mean by negatives.
So what you're going to do is you'll start off in the locked off position, and you'll count backwards to 10. And as you're doing that, you'll just slowly, very slowly, and with as much control as you can, start to go down to 90 degrees, and then just push a little past that to maybe 135. And then, you just count to 10, get all the way down, and then do it again. And I would say maybe do maybe 3, and then do a few sets of that, really depending on whatever you're comfortable with. But I'd say that's a really good way to work on one arms. I know that's a popular thing that everybody wants to do. Yeah, so in order for me to do that, I was doing that with one arm, just doing negatives just like that, and then eventually just clicked. So I know everybody that's at least tried and feels strong enough to do a one arm pull up is they usually get stuck with their elbow just below the 90-degree mark, but do those for as long as you need to, and it'll come easy.
There you have it. Get stuck into the negatives. We barely had time to watch him, but Mario Lechner already off on the men's route.
Yeah, he fell on that crimpy sloper.
Yeah, we talked about it. The route setters were expected to fall zone. We hadn't seen any up until now. I was wondering if the climbers were going to trump the route setters, but Mario, he fell from exactly the move they thought that some of the climbers might find tricky off that big round red volume. As he is so far, very calm.
Looking very comfortable in that section. That's good.
Compatriot Claudia Gasolfi is holding on to third right now in the provisional results. And the cleaning process has begun on the men's route. So after 13 climbers, halfway through the semi-final, the route setting team cleaned the routes to try and nullify the effect of climbers repeatedly slapping and touching the same holes, getting them greasy. So the route setting team go up and they give the route a clean.
And the shoe scum.
The shoe scum.
The shoe scum. All that rubber. Can't have any accidental slips.
As you can see here, just beginning to shake a bit. She's fighting, getting cheered on by a good home crowd here.
Looking strong though.
Arco has been the perfect host this weekend. Never eaten so many pizzas in my life.
I think that's the next thing I'm going to be eating. Can't take 5 steps without seeing another pizzeria.
Or a climbing shop. We chatted to Angelo, the organizer here, and he said there's 20 climbing shops for a population of 18,000 as we watch Azigolo. Just looked as if she was tiring heading into that very upper section. She's just come down, a bit of a shake of the head, puff of the cheeks. She's not very happy with that performance.
Yeah, I expected her to go a little higher, honestly.
Let's have another look.
Way past this section, actually.
there, one of our route setting team, just work his way up the men's route, giving it a clean. There they are, the local crowd, just seen a local climber.
Surprised to see as many people out in the sun as that.
I'm surprised as well, Mike. It's pretty densely packed in the shaded areas.
Woof.
This field will be completely full this evening. If you're not too far from Arco, come down, because it'll be a fantastic atmosphere. We can't see it from this angle, but behind the wall, our artificial wall, is a humongous limestone face. It's one of the most spectacular settings we have. And there's a pretty strong field when you think about Chamonix, Briançon, Imps, Villars. In fact, every lead World Cup seems to take us somewhere absolutely spectacular, but Arco right up there.
So if you definitely my favorite for sure.
Some of the finest pizza and gelato as well in Europe. So if you're just tuning in, Ahmed Torre, member of Team USA, is alongside me. Hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter if you've got any questions. And we also want to know who you think will be on the podium this evening. Very hard to predict, but hey, have a go. Men's and women's competitions. And I just want to reiterate, before anyone gets their hopes up, there is no prize. This is merely for pride. Maybe if everybody who's wrong puts €1 in and then the winner gets it, we could get something going like that.
Yeah. Something like that. You guys figure that out amongst yourselves, though.
Get on Twitter and figure out how to make a prize pot. In the meantime, we've got Risa Ota on the wall. Team Japan, who've had an extraordinary year in the bouldering. Second place overall in the women's competition for Miho Nanaka, and first and second in the men's competition in the bouldering. Tomorrow Narasaki and Kokoro Fuji. What a year they've had, and what a World Cup they hosted in April.
Yeah.
So Risa, she's moving quite a lot quicker through this lower women's section than some of the climbers we've seen.
See about this cross right over here and see if she gets through that with relative ease. See a lot of the climbers doing that, just either skipping that top one or crossing into it. It seems like the ones that cross into that pinch above the sloper seem to have a little more trouble.
No trouble so far for Risa on that move left.
Yeah, Risa just went through it. Yeah, cruised.
She's still relatively low on this women's route, though. She's below the pinch section. There it is. You can just see the top of your screen. That's the beginning of the pinches. Just setting herself. If you're wondering why we don't have any men on screen climbing on the men's routes, because it's just being cleaned by the route setting team.
All right. Risa coming through that pinchy section.
Here she goes, launching into this. So this is the section we've been talking about. Presumably she'll
going a bit slower. Yeah.
Yeah, presumably she'll clip from here. Yeah.
There we go.
Just at the limit of her reach. Very well guesstimated by Risa. So she's got one big dynamic move up here with the right hand, and then she'll move left. And then after the move left, there's something resembling a rest.
It's been interesting seeing the different positions that these ladies have been getting into, during that on that rest section. Some doing the heel hook, some throwing a toe onto that other volume. It's crazy. Looks like she's choosing the heel hook. That's good choice in my opinion.
So this is where we're seeing quite a few of the climbers take a decent rest. Risa takes less of a rest, but the move left causing problems there. That big black volume, the left-hand side of it is the best part.
Yeah.
It looked like she didn't quite get it. It improves the further left you go before it drops away completely. But
I think she hit the middle.
let's have another look. You can see the tick mark. They know where to aim for. No secret made by the route setters.
Oh well, yeah, she did go up pretty far left. I think maybe too far left.
Just some momentum took her off left there. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a good look at our wall here in Arco. Can't quite see. You can just see in the top of your screen, just to the left of where it says our logo, you can see a bit of the crowd. Let's have a look at the men's results. Roman de Grange leads away. Really impressive top. Never looked in any danger. Francesco Vetterato, he's second. Sebastian Halenka, who is furious with how he climbed. He is currently in third. Toma Ioannis, Kachiro Koronaga, Mikhail Chernigov, Martin Bergant, and Christoph Hanke make up the provisional final, but look who's still to come. Very strong climbers still to come out in the men's competition and the women's. Hamel Kim, Sasha Lehmann, Urban Primozic.
Excited to see what Dimitri is going to pull too today.
See that? Yuki Hiroshiga, Dinara Factorinova and Charlotte Jarif all tied on 32 plus. Claudia Gasolfi and Evgenia Kaspakova, Asia Golo, Risa Ota and Kokoro Takata, again in the very, very provisional places for the final. We still have half of our semi-finalists to come, but as things stand, they are the top 8. No top in the women's competition, one in the men's. Kobayashi should be the last female climber before the route gets a clean. Second Japanese climber on the wall in a row. Much taller than her compatriot, which I suspect certainly on the lower section those big reaches might be beneficial, but it's more
during the pinch.
Yeah, more compressed moves higher up though, so Risa Ota fell just from the top of the bottom, sorry, the really steep section on this wall here. Be interesting to see how Yuka gets on. Pretty quick up through this this lower section.
That seems very relaxed.
Been climbing
just
really,
chilling out.
Yeah, it's been climbing brilliantly this year. First 2 finals of the year she was into, no problem. 5th in Chamonix, 7th in Villars. Then she dropped back to 23rd in Briançon, then was 12th last time out in Imps. They made the first 2 finals. Semi-finals, the last 2 World Cups. Should be looking to make it back into that top 8. Pace just slowed here. But very controlled. That move out left, some of the climbers have been doing that much more dynamically.
Yeah, she breezed through that. All right, let's see how she handles this little dynamic move over here. Maybe she can just reach it.
If you're normally primarily a bouldering fan, check out Lead for the first time, and you're wondering why Yuka looks familiar. She also does bouldering competitions. Already made a semi-final actually. Chongqing earlier this year. Back in April, I believe Chongqing was, April-May.
And here we go on the first pinch. See how she handles that. And looks like she's going dynamic. Worked out well.
Meanwhile, the men's route has been cleaned. Max Rudiger of Austria is out. Rudiger, excuse me. So the route setting team, very quick job there on on the men's route, already done and dusted. Ahmed Torre of Team USA is alongside me. Don't forget hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter if you've got any questions for him. And Ahmed, how much of a role do you think the cleaning plays in this semi-final? Do you think the condition of the routes will really change after 13 climbers?
It's hard to say. You know, I mentioned foot scum earlier, like shoe scum. I found that to be a problem sometimes. Like whenever I'm climbing, I don't want to just, you know, footwork is really important. So I really don't want like a slip of a foot to ruin my run. So you know, anything that will help it with that, and then on top of that, it can be just a mental block. Yeah. So having everything cleaned and everything kind of gives everyone like even playing field, like in the most minute sense. So even if it doesn't do much, there's no complaining at the end of the day. It's like, yep, the holds were clean. Like, if you fell, it's on you.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting to hear that perspective, because hopefully we have lots of people that are new to our sport watching us, more people every week, we hope. And it's just interesting for them to understand why the routes get cleaned and how much of a difference it really makes.
Yeah. The chalk will build up, and you certainly wouldn't want to get on a sloper that's just full of chalk and not as porous as it could be, because that chalk will fill up the pores, like the really coarse pores within the rock, and you'll slip right off. Especially at this high level competition, you're working all year to do very, very well. Like, anything that will give you the slight advantage, you're going to want to take.
Yuka Kobayashi taking a long rest as we watch Max. He just slipped off.
Changing that heel to a toe. Look at that.
Yeah, she's trying to do this move completely differently to everyone else, Yuka Kobayashi. Most people have lunged left. She tried to pinch the volume.
Seemed more controlled.
Yeah, it's now gone over statically. It's worked, but I think she's burned quite a lot of time there.
It did take a little while, so I'm interested to see how she handles this next pumpy section. Hopefully it was enough.
The next climber out on the men's route, by the way, will be Fedor Samoylov from the Ukraine. Not a climber you see at the top end of many World Cups, but it'll be really interesting to see how he goes.
All right. Yuka making it to that other sloper. Very well done. Looks like she had enough. Very static, very controlled.
It's really impressive climbing here from Yuka Kobayashi. Can she make it?
Yeah. Falling right after the pinch, but that is going to put her in a pretty comfortable position.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
We'll have the results confirmed for you in just a second, exactly what her score was, but yeah, used up a lot of time, but made it work. As we have another look at Max, let's have a look. So he leads with the foot. That's the way to do it, but I think it was the weight of the other leg that just pulled him down for the wall there.
A lot of people seem to be falling in that section. It's that really tricky footwork there. Yuka's all smiles over there. Yeah, very happy about that run. She should be. Really well done.
Yeah, she looks pretty happy. As I say, she's just off screen, but we can see it from our commentary box. And often you can gauge a lot from watching the climbers as they walk off, and she seems pretty happy with that. Could be final number 3 for this year. So next on the women's route, Christine Strands of Austria. As I see it, Yuka Kobayashi, yes, it was enough for a healthy lead. So she leads the way, top left of your screen for the women's results.
Fadir's one of the younger guys out here.
Yeah, 1997. He was what? 19 years old.
Yeah, it's interesting with the speed climbing as well. Like I'm one of the older guys, for sure. Like on the U.S. team, like the oldest actually for speed climbing, and I think the next oldest person is just turned 21.
Dare I ask how old you are?
I'm 25, sir. 25.
25.
That's right. Loving it.
Fadir climbing like an old guy, and I mean that in a nice way. Not
Wise.
panicking, not overawed.
Looks very comfortable on the wall.
It's a man worth keeping an eye on, actually. He's been in semi-finals before in World Cups. 19th in the Lead World Championships in 2014.
Wow.
He's certainly a promising young climber. He's nice to watch, as I say. It is meant as a compliment. Climbs like an old guy.
Yeah. Very comfortable. Let's see how he gets through this section right over here.
As a coach, is there anything you can do to affect people's climbing style if you want them to have a calmer style? If you've got a climber that just gives it everything, which is good in a way, but is there anything you can do, any techniques you can use to just slow people down?
There's lots of breathing techniques, I would say. I think that maybe like finding a song can help out. Like I know a couple of climbers that do that. They'll think of one song that'll like kind of regulate their heart rate and keep them breathing easy. So that way they're not thinking about it nearly as much. All they're thinking about is the song, their route, and just their breath. That's about it. I do see some other people using watches. So they'll like have a watch on the wall, like a stopwatch, and they kind of know exactly when they're going to get pumped, so they need to get through those sections like a little bit quicker. So, but as a coach, it's really just about I think letting that kid know. Like immediately, it's just okay. This is what you're bad at. Yeah.
As you just have a look there, Yuka Kobayashi leading the way. It was enough for a healthy lead. See there the women's results. Japan 1 and 2. Seen that a lot. That in the bouldering this year. And this time it's in the lead. Delaney Miller, unfortunately, down there in 11th. Fellow member of Team USA, Ahmad Torre, did his best. He cheered loud, but alas, 11th.
Not loud enough.
11th for Delaney so far.
I'll have to apologize to her for that later.
And we just have a look at the men's results. So Romain de Grange leads the way with a top on the men's route. Francesco Vetterato climbed quite early on in this semi-final. He's holding on to second place as things stand. Sebastian Hallenga, Thomas Johan, Max Rudiger, Kochiro Koronaga, Mikhail Chernikov and Martin Bergant currently making up the top 8. We saw Fadir there from the Ukraine. He came off slightly early on. We were just singing his praises. He currently sits in 10th. Sean Bailey, who we also had high hopes for, he's down in 12th.
Yeah, look, I'm sure he's got to be a little disappointed in where he fell today. That's okay. We'll hang out later. We'll get over it.
And we got a comment on Twitter from A, whose question we answered earlier about how to
Mr. Anonymous or Mrs.
how to improve your locking off and clipping. There we go. Tools of the trade. Yeah, A says here we will be trying negatives tomorrow. And we've also had another question.
Okay.
What is your song? You just mentioned about your song that you used to get ready.
Oh, I have a few. Anything Motown. I'm an old soul. So like anything from like early 60s and to the 80s. Like put on any of those songs, like anything really funky, good beat, like good bass line, I'm there. And then recently Childish Gambino. If you haven't heard of him, go check him out.
Love
his stuff. Love his stuff, especially for speed. And he goes like pretty fast, and it's a really good, comfortable rhythm. So yeah, check him out.
As I say, also check these out. Ready for anything.
That's right.
See, we see a lot of people, Metallica, AC/DC, Rage Against the Machine. You're more of a funk guy. Motown.
I'm a funk guy, for sure.
I like his style. It comes across, actually. I can imagine you just kind of groove on before you climb.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. That's kind of my ritual, actually. Is just I sit there, do a bunch of jumps. You know, I look around and see like who I think I could jump like over. You know, like I could jump over that person's head, so I jump and I try and get that high, and then while I'm listening to the song, I'll just like move my feet, in like correspondence to the actual speed wall and the speed route. So, left, right, and, do my beta there. And then after that, it's just dancing.
I like your style. We will try and get a camera backstage. If you're watching this and thinking, I'd love to see that, we will get a camera backstage.
I'm better than you might think.
No, I can believe it. Well, one thing's for sure, you're the best dancer in this commentary box. I can safely say that.
All right, well, we'll see about that.
I can assure you.
We'll see about that.
It's Thomas Ravenel of
the thing about not having rhythm is, you're not a slave to it. You can be more free.
You've just got me out of so many situations at weddings and stuff.
There you go. That's all you got to say.
That's my new one-liner whenever I'm at a wedding. I give myself A for effort, E for attainment. Tom, great to see all these countries represented. Team Chile.
Going through that first section pretty quickly.
Yeah, he was very dynamic. Had a good season so far, 2 out of 4 semi-finals before today, so make that 3 out of 5 now. Highlight this year, 14th in IMPS, so no finals, but yeah, he could be a good bet. Were I a betting man, could be a good outside bet for a final slot today.
Yeah,
a left field choice.
Very comfortable.
Yeah, and certainly from what we've seen already, climbing nicely.
See how he gets through this section right over here.
So we've only seen one fall so far from this first tricky section that he's about to enter.
That crimp must be a little better than anticipated by the rat setters. Yeah.
The weather's been like this all week, so the route setters, they have set in the conditions we've got now. It's a bit more of a breeze than it has been.
It's getting a little cooler. And again, we do have this umbrella that helps out.
Pretty warm under the umbrella.
Remember, I'm from Texas.
I think. There's me curling up, making sure that every inch of me is under the umbrella. So yeah, our wall here in Arco, it is in the shade, but as I say, I can attest that it's still pretty warm. Quite humid as well, surprisingly humid.
Yeah, it's got to make for some sweaty fingers, sweaty palms.
Tomo's got a really nice pace though. He's chalking up a lot, just related to what you were saying, but
yeah,
keeping up a nice pace.
I think it's good that he's chalking up right over here, just before the sloper section. I think he's anticipating that.
So yeah, kind of a bouldery style this section. Both routes really varied, men's and women's. It looks like he's
wow.
Considering going with the left hand before he gets set with the right. Be
nice, and then coming into a compression. Very good.
Now that's a really nice way of doing that move.
That was some great beta.
That was really interesting from Thomas because
he looks so smooth doing that. That was really good.
It's not how most of the climbers have done it.
Yeah, most of them have been going to the volume and then popping out to the left, which it's been working, but I mean, that looked way smoother.
And we've seen a fall from there as well, so to do it so smoothly, really impressive. As I say, a bit of a left field bet, but I've got a good feeling about him. That normally
Yeah.
means he falls off immediately, but
I'd like to see him in finals. He looks very comfortable right now. He must be having a good day.
another country to add to the list of places to go climbing, Chile.
Oh. Oof.
And he won't be making the final, unfortunately. Looks annoyed with that. And I can understand.
I don't think he would. I honestly did not think he was going to fall there. I think he got his feet a little too high.
Let's have another look. You can see him really looking around.
Yep, just a bit too high. And I think he missed it a little bit.
Yeah, he's on the top of the hold. Yeah, he's missed possibly the best bit of it.
Yeah, maybe an inch further, or a few centimeters down.
It's a pretty
I
much
forget you're on the mechs here.
Pretty much a perfect camera angle. You could see his hand. It looked as he just realised he'd missed the best bit. There was a split second of heartbreak as he realised it wasn't going to work.
We'll see where that gets him.
There's a crowd, as you say. Well, we can see their bottom left of the screen and top right. Everyone congregating in the shade. The braver souls sitting at the 1 o'clock circle.
Seeing that guy right over there in that little chair. Seems prepared, getting his little tan on.
He's come prepared. You can see him on the left of the screen with the yellow shorts. This isn't his first rodeo.
Nope.
He's done this before.
Prepared.
So for those of you just tuning in, that's where we are. We are in Arco in Italy, legendary venue. This is the 30th year of the Arco Rockmaster. I was going to say competition. It's more of a celebration. I've got Ahmed Torre, Team USA alongside me, hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter if you've got any questions for him. And we'd also like a few of your predictions about the podium for this evening. Yeah, stunning position. And a legendary wall, Arco. Most of the top climbers in the past 30 years have passed under its overhangs at some stage.
Yep, beautiful city. Yep. Beautiful weather for me. And yeah, couldn't ask for anything better.
Are you rushing off after this, or have you got a few days at Arco?
I'm actually just leaving tomorrow, but I'll be around for after finals. I can only imagine this place gets a little crazy afterwards.
It'll get a little rowdy,
yeah.
Well, I'll be thinking of you. I've got a few days here, just a few days holiday afterwards. I'll be thinking of you while I'm still eating the good gelato. And
oh yeah.
the vino rosso.
Yeah, no, I'll be off in Paris. Yeah.
And not too bad.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Great place. We'll be there in just a few weeks for our World Championships. Check out World Climbing 2016 if you'd like some tickets. I don't know what the current status of tickets is, what's sold out and what isn't, but for the first time you can book in advance your tickets for the qualification rounds. Previously you could book tickets for the semis and finals, but it was first come first served for qualifiers. This year in Paris you can pre-book your seats for the qualifying rounds. Make sure you do it the weekend. The semis and the finals will sell out. Whether it has done
Absolutely.
already, I'm not sure. It could well have already done. Anyway, World Climbing 2016. Check out the status of the tickets and you can join Ahmed in Paris. What an event that is going to be.
Get on that, because I swear that is probably the best comp that you can ever go to.
It's in the Arco Arena, which is enormous. I believe it's the biggest indoor arena in Paris.
That is right. And just to see that stadium filled with people just making so much noise that you can hear it outside. All for climbing. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yep, get yourself online, have a look, Google the images. It's a massive arena. So World Climbing 2016, get your tickets booked. We are expecting a sellout. So, question from Twitter, Martin Slavic. He wants to know, what do you think of Adam Ondra's statement that today is only preparation for the World Championships? That's what he said in an interview with us.
Okay. Just on that statement, or I mean, people prepare. Andres isn't a climber. This could work for him, and that's how he fares, and good him for that. That's not necessarily what I do. I find every competition is kind of preparation for the next one anyway. So maybe that's kind of what he meant. This is prep for the World Championships, because honestly, if you're going to compare the two, Arco's amazing. But like I was saying earlier, like World Championships is insane. You never see that many people like in one place watch climbers. Never.
It's interesting actually. It was me who did that interview with Adam.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like the editing, just, make sure you comment underneath. Great editing, great camera work, whatever you want. But it's me who makes those little interviews on Facebook.
Yeah.
And Adam, I suspect, might have. He said it was preparation for the World Championships, but he did say how much he loves Arco. I suspect we might have seen him anyway.
Right. Yeah.
He comes here quite a lot. But I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, me neither.
One thing you're going to get with Adam is he will give 100%. He's not coming here. It's not just training. He's not just going to see how he's feeling.
Right.
He's going to come out. He's going to want to tear this wall down. That's
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's all part of the preparation, really, because that might just be, preparation like mentally. This is a pretty big comp. Probably not as, I wouldn't say as big as the World Championships, but it is a big comp, and it's a good mental preparation for how loud and how crazy that comp will get.
And we just saw Hanwol Kim, who's a man you might have expected to be slightly higher up the route before he falls. He's come off and he took quite a fall as well. He whacked the wall quite hard as he came back in. I know we didn't see it from our angle. Let's have another look at his fall here. So he didn't have that clip. And that would explain the fall. He went to clip, didn't, and was already a long way above the previous clip, and possibly had a bit of slack as well. It's Christine Schranz, Team Austria. What a season she's been having so far. Let's have another look. Yeah, so he went to clip.
Yeah.
I think the Belo is probably in the process of taking the slack back in. You can see they went quite a long way. I can tell you, just fell out of our shot.
Yeah, I think he went a little too far left as well on that hold. Wasn't much of a Gaston. Instead, I think he just went for the pinch and didn't quite go.
Full gas from Hanwol Kim though. That was quite a nasty fall he was looking at, and it didn't seem to hold him back. He gave it full beans. I've just had confirmation, by the way. We were talking about Paris World Championships. Tickets are still available. I will find out for which specific days.
Get them quick, they'll go.
And you can also buy them on the IFSC website on the Paris event page. Get your tickets, come along. It'd be great to have a packed arena for every single day.
Yeah, come hang out.
Come say hi as well.
Yeah.
So Christine, she was pretty much in a home World Cup in Imst last time out.
Looking pretty comfortable right now. Yeah, also a little bit on the taller side, making that move, pretty easy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some of the climbers have taken a long rest, have really taken their time over that move, tried different ways. Christine just launches straight into it.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less from the Austrians. Like that. They're just so strong. They are so strong consistently.
Yeah, they had an amazing week last time out in Imst. They had 7 of the 26 female finalists were Austrian.
Oh,
incredible. Christine was 9th in Imst. So again, just misses the
insane.
final. Has been in a final this year though, 6th in Villars. And she made a couple last year as well, Imst and Chamonix. So I don't think anyone would be too surprised if she was to progress into the final. Made every semi. Briançon really the only black mark against her name this year, 25th. But even then, still made semi.
We got Dimitri on the right there.
Yeah, one of a bunch of climbers to make to top every route in the qualifiers.
Yes, he will. I fully expect to see him in finals. Like I said earlier, I've seen him pull some crazy stuff off, and I think he'll podium. That's my bet.
Good shout. There we go. You heard it here first. It's Christine Schranz battling up there. Now, I think that's certainly enough for a provisional final place, but I fear with the calibre of climbers still to come out. Might not be enough for a final place when the results are all in. Okay, so I've just had it confirmed. We've been talking about the World Championships in Paris. There are tickets available for. Just before I carry on, check the top left of your screen for the updated results. Says Romain de Grand is the only man with the top so far, the only climber with the top so far. There are individual tickets available for all 5 days in Paris. The group prices, if you bought multiple tickets, they're already sold out for Saturday and Sunday, but you can still get group tickets for Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Individual tickets still available for all 5 days. We are going to have a sellout almost certainly Saturday, Sunday, so if you'd like a ticket, get it bought now.
It will go fast, so fast.
Have you been concentrating on Paris in terms of your training, or do you?
Yeah. Like I said, Arco. I've just been told so many times I needed to come out here, so I had to make the trip. Yeah, but yesterday was a very long day getting here from Paris. Took a flight, a bus, train, another bus, and finally made it here. So I don't know. That's a little tired, but it's well worth it. As soon as I pulled up here on the bus, I was just like, okay, got it.
I get it now.
I get it. All right, makes sense. Makes sense. Worth it. Yeah. And then the city, the people, everything has just been so great so far. So I wish I could stay longer. But no, as far as training for World Championships, I'll be sticking around in Paris after this. So hoping to get on some speed. Do a little training beforehand. For the next couple weeks, really dial that down. Really dial the 15 down, which.
When you say the 15 to people who are watching, what do you mean?
Yeah.
The speed wall.
So comparatively in the U.S., we have very few 15-meter walls, and that is the full length or the full height of the wall, so or of the route. So coming over here into Europe, you see a lot more of the actual 15 meter in all these different countries. So they get to train on that full 15, and it's definitely helpful. They're a lot more they're just a lot faster and more consistently. Whereas if you watch me run on my runs, then you'll see right at the 10 meter I hesitate a little bit. Yeah. So it's like, oh wait, not 10,
and
15, keep going.
Try to remember the rest of it. Yeah. As you watch Dimitri, he's
looking good.
Looking very good. So
yeah. Looking relaxed there. All right.
Yeah, his previous clip, the one that he's just made, is where Hanwoo Kim was trying to clip.
That's right. Made it through there with relative ease. Let's see if he can get this compression down.
And you can see this is where the wall actually goes back past horizontal and starts to slope down again. You lead with the feet, as Dimitri's doing. Mathilde Becerra, she's out on the women's route, bottom right of your screen. Dimitri, you can see how strong he is. Just
seems to be a very comfortable rest position for him, at least. Yeah, that's
chalking up in an extraordinary position.
All right, Dimitri, come on, man.
Retake his time.
Oh man, he made that look so smooth.
This is a really impressive piece of climb from Dimitri. Just trying to get his feet sorted.
There we go.
And this is already enough for a provisional place in the final.
We might see another top over here in a bit.
It's the first World Cup we've seen him in lead this year. He competed in the Munich Boulder World Cup, but 2016 this is his first lead World Cup. But when you bear in mind that last year his results were 4th, 8th and 8th, would be no great surprise to see him in the final. So between him and Adam Ondra, we could have 2 new finalists for 2016.
All right, there he goes.
He's onto the sloping,
looking
sloping volumes at the top of the route. You can can see how fatigued he's getting, but
he's starting to get a little shaky, but let's see. Yeah, there it is.
Powering through. Well, he doesn't look very happy with that. I think he should be. First League World Cup in 2016, and that is certainly enough for a provisional place in the top 8 as we watch Mathilde. So this has been an interesting point on the women's route. Some of them have just fired across it. Others, a bit like Mathilde, have just taken a bit longer.
There we go. I was about to say, using that lower section, that's going to be interesting. See what happens there. She got to the right spot though, so.
Yeah, she's having a battle with this move onto the volume. She's got it now. Let's have another look at Dimitri.
Ah, man. I can see why he was frustrated now. His foot just slipped. Yeah. He was going for the top for sure. Yeah, that's also why we don't want the foot scum like on there. We don't want the shoe scum on there, but it wasn't, you know. That's why we brush.
So here's Mathilde, already another climber who's been in a final this year. We've had all sorts of lineups in the finals. It's been extraordinary how many different climbers have been in, but she was 6th in Briançon.
Oh, looking very comfortable through that.
I'm sure if you watched our live stream from Briançon, you remember the terrible weather we had. The women's final was first, and then the men, and conditions were absolutely borderline. We managed to get the final, but only just. Mathilde took 6th that day.
Let's see if she gets past this section right here. Having a lot of trouble with that section right there with the sloper and the pinch.
So we haven't had a top on the women's route. We haven't actually had any of the female climbers on the very last few moves.
Yeah, that's about as high as they've been getting.
Yeah, we'll wait for a confirmed score from Mathilde. She strides off the stage, relatively happy, and there we go, the brave souls. So they're well prepared. Let's just have a quick look. There we go. So we don't have Mathilde's score just yet, but in the meantime, Yuka Kobayashi leading the way. We'll wait for Mathilde Becerra's confirmed score. There we see Romain Desgrange, only qualified 15th, but he's topped this route in the men's competition and nobody else has.
Very impressive.
Francesco Vetterato, who climbed very early on in this semi-final, is holding on to 3rd place. This is Sascha Lehmann, here he is, of Switzerland.
Another very young climber.
Yeah, he's having a
only
really
18, yeah.
Really impressive, really impressive season so far. It's same as Mathilde, who was just out on the women's route. He was 6th in Briançon, Sascha Lehmann. So already a finalist. Hélène Yannico, meanwhile, from Waron in France, which is where a lot of the French team train. So Sascha is climbed quickly up to this point, already onto that big green volume.
Having some little trouble with that clip there. Come on, let's get it. There it is.
We've talked already a lot about the Olympics, but Sasha's 18 years old.
Already competing at such a high level. Yeah, seems very cool. See how he doesn't speed.
So, another question for Ahmed. Ahmed Torre, member of team, speed specialist, but all-round climbing athlete, is alongside me. Hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter if you want to ask him a question. We've got a question here from Alexandra Bishop. She wants to know, we've already talked about how lead and boulder climbers will get on in Sorry, House climbers will get on speed and boulder. How do you think the boulder class will do with speed?
I honestly think they'll do very well. I think that I'm not sure if they haven't given it much of a chance yet or anything. I don't know, the ones that are like maybe a little hesitant, but like strength does play a big role in speed. So, you know, and then there's the endurance factor, and perhaps like it's the cardio factor that might throw them off a little bit. But I do believe that they're going to do surprisingly well, like better than they think they would. So, there's a lot of talk about it right now, but I do think that will die down once they get on the wall, because I do not think that's going to change. And if you want to be an Olympic athlete, especially like for the first time climbing is going to be in there, you know, you're going to have to kind of suck it up and do it.
As Sasha Lehman, real battle through that volume section, you could tell it's absolutely on the limit, but seems to regain his composure slightly onto the underclings before the roof. He'll want to get that rope free from behind his leg, but first things first, gets clipped. Meanwhile,
and there he goes.
Sasha just before the roof. Not his day today. That won't be enough for the final. Here's Elan Yannico. This
falling in the same spot as Thomas Ravenel. Oh, Ravenel, excuse me. Yeah.
So Ellen, big battle up onto this roof section. I suspect she's just going to motor from here. She had a pretty long spell, fairly still.
She doesn't seem too pumped out right now. She is shaking out a little bit here. Come on. Looking good. Let's get to that sloper. Ah! Couldn't quite get it. Got a little underneath it, actually.
Doesn't look too pleased with that. I think she should be there. Let's have a look.
And if you look over here, yep.
So just missed perhaps the key part of the hold.
Yeah. I believe she went a little further left, like a little higher. Probably would have stuck that. Can't tell if she's all too happy with that or not, but yeah.
No.
Nope.
I would suspect the answer to your question is no. So let's have a look at these women's results. We still don't have Mathilde on there. It'll be interesting to see when her score does register. I hope there's no issues with it. In the meantime, Yuka Kobayashi does hold an early lead ahead of her compatriot.
Team Japan doing a very good job right now.
Yeah, it's like the Boulder World Cups all over again. So here's Chasa Kalan on the women's route. But it's going to be Slovenia and Slovenia because Urban Primozic has just walked out on the men's route. There he is, bottom right of your screen. Had a really good start to the season. Might be slightly harsh to say he's tailed off, but he certainly was better earlier on in the season. Looking to rediscover his form here just before Paris. Wieland Briançon back-to-back finals. Just dropped off in IMT, 17th place, so he's made every final every semi-final, this year.
A little early, but he is looking very confident on that wall right now.
Yeah, it's, when he finds his groove, if you like, a bit like you when you're warming up with your
my dancing,
grooves.
Yeah, finding that groove.
He's
all about the groove.
He's a real threat.
He's got a little spring in his step.
Chasano, she's climbing very quickly through this lower section. Same with Urban.
He's trying to gauge that clip, see if she can clip it before getting up there. I guess she'll do that.
Don't forget, if you've got any questions for Ahmed Torre, member of Team USA, get yourself on Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC.
Bring him on.
Bring on the questions.
Bring him on.
Again, we got the updated women's results. Let's have a look. So Mathilde, it was enough for second.
Very good run from Mathilde.
Keep an eye top left of your screen as the women's results feed through. Chelsea, having started out very quickly, down climbed slightly to chalk up, and is now one of the slow competitors up to this stage. Still not onto the steep section of the wall with the pinches.
Yeah. That sloper looks pretty heinous. Yeah. Can't really see it from this angle, but from that angle they just put a second ago, you can kind of see how it slopes off. And yeah, I get it. I get it. I would absolutely ignore that, go off left. Paid off.
So Urban, having set off extremely quickly, has slowed slightly, had a long rest, about a third of the way up the wall.
Seems to be going at it again. Comfortable pace. There we go.
The next climber out after Urban will be Adam Andre. What a statement it would be from Urban if he could put some pressure on Adam with a really good climb here.
Yeah, with a little cheering going on. Yeah, that would certainly add to it.
This men's route has already been topped by Romain Desgrange. Urban, he just makes that move stick. That hold he's got his right hand on is a bolt on the yellow volume.
Right over his shoulder there, let's see. All right, nice. Making it work. Hopefully he can still get that clip. Having some trouble with the rope there. Uh-oh. Let's see what he ends up doing.
Now then, Urban has not clipped the previous quick draw. He has to clip that before he carries on. He realises now.
Oh, man.
So he's just going to have to get himself sorted. Meanwhile, Shasta's just lining up for this pinch section.
That's a real test to how calm you can be. Ah, there he goes. He's grabbing it. Yeah, and you don't have to understand much about sport climbing to understand that that right there was, yeah, pretty difficult. Just mentally.
Chelsea Callan, she came off on the pinch section. She's come down.
Not too happy.
Not happy. Her rock boots are already off, untying. She's stormed off the stage, I think it'd be fair to say. And Urban, her compatriot, might do the same.
Clip, though.
Might do the same, because if he had got that clip first time, he might have had slightly more energy for the latter part of that roof.
That's right.
Kick himself, you can see him there banging his forehead. He's annoyed with himself.
I've skipped a clip or two in my day. Yeah.
Let's have a look. You can see there it was flapping loose, and I think he was about to climb on. He was. That was later on. Excuse me.
Yeah, he did end up getting that other clip, but
yeah, he went back for the other one.
Yeah.
Frustrated. As I say, you saw him banging his head as he walked off. There you go. That's the crowd congregated in the shade.
Yeah, that certainly pleased the crowd, though. Yeah, coming back for that clip. Anne-Sophie Kohler over here from Switzerland.
Yeah, she's another climber who's been going well this year, only 20 years old. Team Switzerland in general having quite a good year across lead and boulder. We had an interview with one of their coaching team, Ur. You can see that on the IFSC Facebook page. Chatted to him back in Munich. Already 2 weeks since Munich, wow.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Ondra.
There he is. The crowd have been looking forward to this, and as I say, we don't want to dwell on one climber more than the others, but when you've got a guy like Adam Ondra, one of, some would argue, already at his young age, the greatest rock climber we've ever seen, you could argue. When you've got a guy like that who's not taking part in the World Cups, and then he takes part, understandably there is a lot of interest. Remember, with the World Championships coming up in Paris, Adam did the unprecedented double of winning the World Championships in both bouldering and lead in 2014. The event was split. The lead World Championship by boulder, they weren't at the same venue at the same time.
Impressive.
But an extraordinary achievement.
All right, and we got Anne-Sophie coming over here to the pinch section. See how she fares with this.
So she's onto the pinches already, made pretty good progress up till here. Nothing really phased her much. One of the tricky bits has been
doing well.
When to clip. We've seen a few tactics. She does it nice and early. So just a recap. She'll go up next with the right hand and then move out left to the big rounded volume that the climbers have used quite a lot of different tactics for. So, Adam Ondra, no issues so far. Top both routes in the qualifiers, looked the Adam Ondra we would expect to see. Again, the volume section not posing many problems so far either.
Yeah, just cruising through it. Very comfortable.
It'd be interesting to chat to some of the climbers later. I wonder whether they'd say that having Adam back affected their thing at all. Don't forget, as well as winning the back-to-back World Championships, he is the reigning lead World Cup champion from 2015.
Wonder if that shakes him up a little bit.
I wonder. I mean, a lot of them might be thinking, well, that's one less place in the finals, so be assuming, well, they'd be assuming Adam would make it. You never know. I think most.
You do never know. Yeah.
Most of these guys, by this stage of a season and in their careers, know that they just need to focus on their own performance. But still, having Adam back is certainly adds an element.
That's true.
Meanwhile, you can see bottom right of your screen, Anne-Sophie. She's already onto the steepest section. Didn't pause for long on that
not at all
rounded black volume. Adam Ondra's not pausing much for anything here. He does climb quickly. Certainly not going to get timed out here. That's we can say that with some certainty.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that might have been the first Ondra power scream we've heard.
Yep, I'm about to say, I wonder if he's going to do it today.
Yes,
it'll definitely happen in finals, but you know, I was wondering if semis was, you know, scream-worthy.
Well, he's got to make it to the final, but
that's right.
So far, now that is a surprise.
Nodding his head a little bit. I'm interested to see his reaction, actually, because that could have just very well been tactical.
Meanwhile, Anne-Sophie Collett,
And we got, oh, so close to the top. That will definitely put her in a very comfortable lead.
That will put her in the lead. Our screen was focused on Adam, Adam,
Fending off the dogs.
Adam Ondra not climbing as well as we might have expected on the men's route. Meanwhile, Anne-Sophie Collett absolutely flew that women's route.
Destroyed it.
So close to the top, hand on the top.
Yeah, got to be happy about that.
Well, we know who will be leading in the women's competition. Let's have a look at Adam again.
He felt kind of early.
Yeah,
I wonder what happened there. Let's.
I suspect that might not be enough to get Adam Ondra into the final.
Oh man, that would be interesting. Wish I could see his face right now.
I think I can tell you what he might be thinking, what his face might look like.
Yeah, like worried, I would say.
There we go.
Yeah, we got to see
the hottest part of the day right now. The crowd. Some of them still out in the sun. They'll be glad as that area of shade on the left extends a bit further. Well, two extraordinary bits of action there.
Oh, that gets Ondra in the fourth. So.
Yeah, we've got a view of the big screen here.
Yeah.
It's worth remembering, by the way, that
keeps him in, but you know we do have. We do have 5 other climbers.
It's worth remembering that the results you see on the big screen or on our screen are not confirmed; they are provisional. But yeah, as things stand, Adam Ondra 4th place. So just looking. Speak of the results, we're going to have a quick look at the men's results. So Romain Desgrange topped. Adam Ondra currently in 4th. Now it's going to be Salome Roman starts from Briançon. It's going to be really interesting. So Adam Ondra.
Yeah, that's a scary place to be for Adam, honestly.
He sits in 4th, and there are 5 climbers still to go, so he can be knocked out of the final placing.
It is possible.
Could end up as low down as 9th. Salome Roman, there she is, and we can see Anne-Sophie Collett takes a very healthy lead in the women's competition. So it's Claudia Gisolfi who's been knocked out of the provisional final as a result of Anne-Sophie there. Now, from one legendary male climber to another, Ramonet is out onto the men's wall. So Adam Ondra didn't climb as well as we might have expected him to, but of the 5 climbers remaining, if only 4 beat him, he will sneak into the final in 8th place.
That's right.
So he'll be.
Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
I can just see him actually out the back of the wall. Can't quite see his face. I can see his hand gesture, so I think he's gesturing. He doesn't quite know what happened there.
Yeah. It just seems disbelief, right?
Salome, no problem so far. Very short climber though, Salome. Climbers come in all shapes and sizes, but she, even by the standards of lead and rock climbers, is short. This is going to be a big reach up for her. Let's have a look how she does it. No problem. Ramonet as well, one of the shorter male climbers.
Coming up to that first crux section.
Yeah, he's really been hitting his straps again after a poor start to the season. He was quite open about the fact that he wants to win the World Championship, so his training has been tailored towards that, and it's starting to pay off. Results really improving for Ramonet as the season progresses. Winner of 21 World Cups. Salome again. These reaches are even harder for her. She is shorter than a lot of the climbers, but she's so dynamic. She makes it work.
Dynamic, strong. Yeah.
So next she'll go out left, and then on those 2 triangular volumes is something resembling, mini volumes I should say, is something resembling a rest.
Looking at the toe hook there, that's good. Very comfortable.
Very hard to tell here because we've been in the shade all day, but I think conditions are pretty much as they were. It might have got slightly hotter, but the shaded areas here in Arco, which includes both our men's and women's walls, are
They've grown a bit.
well, yeah, they're well sheltered, and I think conditions pretty similar now to how they were for the first climbers earlier on. So for those of you just joining us, Ahmed Toure, member of Team USA, Team USA athlete, is alongside me. Hashtag IFSCWC if you've got any questions for him. And let us know what you think about today's action. We also wouldn't mind a few predictions about what you think the podium will be.
Salome having a little trouble in this section. Oh, let's see if she can make it. Oh, come on, pull it off. You got it.
So she's going to move left. You can see the tick mark signifying where the best part of that hole is.
Oh, wow. I was wondering if she was going to pull that off. That was a really close-looking heel. A little early.
That is a particularly nonplussed Salome.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's contemplating just how many reachy moves there were that she just didn't seem to get on with. Meanwhile, we'll focus on Ramonet, who... Let's just have a look at Salome one more time. No, she's just missed. The best part of that hole is just slightly further left. Just missed it. So from Salome to Ramonet.
Made it through that with very relative ease.
It's quite extraordinary to watch how some climbers really struggle with these moves, and then you've got a guy like Ramonet just cruises through.
So calm. Wow.
34, soon to be 35-year-old. Still as hungry as ever. It was back in Chamonix, so you'll have to scroll down a long way, but if you go on the IFSC Facebook page, you'll see our interview with him. Very much targeting Paris. Is he going to... I thought he was about to launch onto the upper section of this wall here.
All right.
Just paused.
Getting the clip.
So that is the last clip. The next clip is the top. Ramonet is looking incredibly controlled here.
Very smooth. I think we'll get another top here.
And that's a great shot, silhouetted against the peaks of the Trentino.
Oh yeah, looking so comfortable. Yep, I'm sure we're gonna get another top here.
Ramonet, can he do it?
So smooth. That's the smooth. Oh man.
So Romain de Grange really leapt for this last hold.
There he goes. Oh! Oh, you gotta hate that. You gotta hate.
Oh, Ramonet, I was just about to say, but I didn't quite have time.
Yeah.
Romain de Grange, when he topped this route, he lunged for that hold and just made it stick. Ramonet, he got his hand on it.
Didn't seem to thrust nearly as much.
Let's have a look. Does he latch the hold?
Let's see there. Boom.
So he got pretty much the best part of it. The best part of it is maybe a couple of centimeters further right, but he wasn't far off.
It seems like he, off his right foot though, he pushed back a little further. I think that had a lot to do with it. It should have maybe brought his knee a little higher and then just jumped up, you know? So just a little bit more vertical.
Still.
That would have been it though. That would have been
more than enough for a place in the final.
Absolutely. I wouldn't worry about it if I were him.
No,
I doubt he's worrying about it too much either.
I wouldn't have thought so. No, rueful smile as he came down. Here's Katarina Posch. Only the second Austrian woman we've seen out so far today. She'll be followed, Magdalena Rock coming up a bit later on. Hometown Imst, where we were 5-6 days ago. Difficult actually for some of these climbers, particularly those who compete in the bouldering as well. They've been in 3 back-to-back competitions, even the league competitors 2 back-to-back. Just keep an eye on the top left of your screen. We're going to see the latest men's results. So Romain de Grange top, Ramone about as close as you can get to the top without actually making it. Had his hand on the top hold.
Couldn't quite stick it, but good enough. Good enough to get him in the finals.
So Katarina,
she ought to make it through this pinch section pretty easily.
You would imagine she has something of an advantage in this section. You can see there the list of climbers still to come. Adam Ondra will be watching nervously. He'll be down to 5th now. Stefano Ghisolfi. Very dynamic start from him. We chatted to him yesterday. He's currently based in Torino, or Turin, as you can see on the bottom left of your screen, but he is moving to Arco in November. He will be a resident of this wonderful town.
Ugh, I'm jealous. I love Texas, but it's pretty flat out there.
Hey, you got some good bouldering out there, hey?
Oh yeah, no, we got the Waco tanks, like some of the best bouldering in the world. You know, so can't complain too much. But I'll tell you what, it is a long drive, even, especially from like where I'm from, the DFW area. It's just so long. So you can drive clear across Texas, and 12 hours will go by. You're still in the same state.
So Katja didn't linger too long in the black volume. Some of the climbers we've seen have done. Stefano Ghisolfi, you can see him on the bottom right, entering what we consider to be one of the first cruxes of the route. Climbed really well yesterday, Stefano, in what will soon be his hometown. Katarina not really taxed so far.
Seems really calm, like very collected. Boom. I haven't seen anybody do that without the left foot there, but she made it work.
Well, this would be her first final of the year if she can make it, and she's certainly going about it the right way.
Yeah, I think she's close. She seems pretty relaxed. Let's see what we got here. Ah!
I suspect that will be enough for provisionally be in the top 8, but we shall see.
Perhaps.
Here's Stefano. He's set off at a hell of a pace, but he's slowed slightly. He's about to enter the bouldery section. The half moon volumes, you can see him above him. Time, would have thought, would become an issue. Most of the climbers have been quite quick through this next section, but still, want to get a move on. Just let you know, Julia Chanaldi will be out next on the women's route. Katarina Posch makes her way off the stage.
Stefano making a move here. Here we go. Yep, here we go.
So he'll go up right hand next onto the pinch as a tiny bolt on, just to help you out on that.
Going pretty slow, but he's working through it. Seems good. Come on, Stefano. Viva Italia.
He would be so popular if he could make it into these semis. Let's say Turin, just a couple of hours up the road.
Oh yeah.
And you can see Julia Chanel.
And if he's moving down here, like doing well in this comp, can't.
It'll keep him in.
It'll make him real popular here.
Yeah, free beer for the next year.
I doubt he'll be paying for drinks at the bar.
About to into the beginning of the roof section. All the holds, I'd imagine, now starting to look familiar. We're starting to really know this men's and women's roofs off by heart.
All right, yep, getting into the back of that. That's funny. Everybody that's missed that hold so far just went a little too high. No, less about it was less about their strength, but just more about just being precise with the hold.
Stefano, you really get an idea of the angle of this wall here in Arco. So he swings, he goes feet first. Here he goes.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
Now you have to say that is the surprise, and that sequence
has
stopped quite a few climbers, including Adam Ondra. They've just not quite figured out how to do it.
It's not
efficiently.
A gimme. Yeah.
So Julia, if my geography is right, it is. She will be about to start the pinchy section. No problem so far. A bit taller than some of the other climbers we've seen, such as Salome Roman. You can see that and the difference it makes.
Certainly taller than Anne-Sophie.
Yeah, for sure. Anne-Sophie with an amazing performance. So close to the top. We haven't yet seen a top on the women's route. We've seen one on the men's.
I'd like to see one.
I would love to see a top on this women's route for sure.
I thought she had it.
Keep an eye top left of your screen. We've got the women's results as they stand. We've still got 5 climbers after Julia Shanodi. So Dinara Factor-Danova, you'd have thought, looking fairly nervously at this. Possibly hasn't done enough. We saw her relatively early on. Really good battle on this women's route. You can see there Mina Markovic, Magdalena Ruck, Janja Garnbret, and Anna Verhoeven, and Jane Kim still to come. There's that black volume.
Big quick work of that.
Yeah, so I was about to say it slowed down a lot of the climbers. It's always a fine line to know when to just keep on motoring, but when
she seems to have that beta really dialed, though.
Yeah, she's really got it sorted.
Yeah, she's just a machine up there. It's looking good. Very confident. All right, let's see how she fares with that sloper. There we go.
So this is really solid from Julia. Julia's had a...
I think we've got another close top here. Here we go.
Good seasons, looking to back up. 2 finals in a row. Can she make it a second final in 2 weeks?
Looking good, looking strong.
Slap for a couple of moves low down. Regain control,
very
goes
close.
for another. Well, that'll be enough, certainly for the early top 8 places. Remember, 5 climbers still to go. So if she's
just guessing at this moment, but that might put her in second. We'll see.
So she was last time. Sorry, not last. 6th last time out in Imst a week ago. So this would be a second final in a row. Here's Gauthier. Came second overall in the World Cups last year to Adam Ondra. He's been there or thereabouts this year. Of course, this season has been, you'd have to say, dominated by Domen Skufic, who's currently leading the overall standards. But Gauthier, 1 podium already in Imps last week, and a 4th in Briançon and Chamonix. So he's been climbing well, perhaps not quite hitting the heights of last year. 2 World Cup wins, of course, last year, but still looking climbing very well.
Yeah, looking good so far.
And as are all the athletes, and particularly the French ones, really looking forward to Paris. Just a few weeks
I would
now.
imagine so.
So Yulia Shanodi, that puts her, with being told, into second, so she'll
All right.
qualify. She can't be displaced from that women's final.
All right.
So Gauthier is the third to last man to climb.
Looking very comfortable through this section, not slowing down at all.
And I'm fairly certain now that Adam Ondra will qualify for the final, because Stefano did not get far enough.
That is right.
So Adam will be provisional 5th, I think. We'll check all this for you.
I believe, yeah, that's 5th so far.
Yep, and that leaves Gauthier, Jakob Schubert and Domen Skufic still to climb, so even if they all beat him, get
Still
higher
make
on the
it.
route, he'll still make it an 8. So
He must have a little sigh of relief there.
you'd imagine so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if that puts a kind of a fire under him. Wow.
And Gauthier off very low down on this men's route.
Wow.
A man you would have thought would be nailed on for a final.
Oh, you know he's not happy about that.
He's not happy about that, not one bit. And here's Mina Markovic. Last night she received the Arco Rockmasters Competition Award for her performances last year.
That's right.
Looked to be really back on form in IMSS last week.
Yep, I have her on podium as well. I'm pretty sure she'll get there.
I think this pinch section will suit her, so I wouldn't expect her to have too many issues until she gets to the large black volume further up this women's route. I was really worried she was about to immediately prove me wrong there, but no.
Yeah, a little hesitant there, but now she's getting her groove back.
So it's right, left, right with the pinches, and then the bigger move out left. So Gauthier Zuppert, just to confirm, he won't be in the final. That's one of the big names missing from this evening.
That's right.
That will almost certainly, we'll just wait for confirmation, but Adam Ondra will almost certainly make it into the final, just, you would imagine. Probably going to qualify in 7th or 8th. Amina actually looked as if she found those moves a bit harder than I was expecting. This big move up left, not troubling her too much though.
Wonder how she'll fare with this next move here though.
When we spoke to her in IMSS, she said she pretty much lived in a gym since Briançon, the previous World Cup, where she hadn't performed that well by her standards. It's really paying off, but
At the end of the day, it's also a mental game. So we'll see how she fares here. Looking very comfortable on that hold though. Yep. I thought she'd shake out. There she goes. We got Jakob Schubert as well coming up.
yep, there he is on the bottom right.
I expect a good performance from him, for sure.
Let's have a look at Mina, really. You can just see just beginning to fight now. Fatigue becoming a factor. Still keep it calm though, plenty of experience, Mina.
Yep, there she goes. Yep, seemed like that right arm was getting a little pumped. Let's see if that was enough to.
She is of course the reigning World Cup champion from 2015. 29 years old, been doing this for a while now.
Indeed.
She calms herself down nicely after that compression section.
Looking good here.
Are we going to see the top on this women's route? Looking very composed here. That hold absolutely.
Looking good there with the with a toe hook. Throwing the heel.
That was at the limit of her reach. That lunge with the right hand there. You'd have thought she might have been better clipping, but no, she makes it work going clipping from the left hand. Initially looked a bit awkward.
Yep. Let's see. There we go. Yep. Very controlled. Like, yeah, she seems to be in a good headspace right now.
So
Not just throwing for stuff.
You're seeing the women's results on your screen there.
There she goes.
Mina Markovic. You can tell during the compression section.
All right.
She was fighting,
Look
but
at her go.
She's regained her composure here.
All right, that gets her to second so far. Let's see if we got a top though.
Well, Mina, that'll put her into second place.
Absolutely.
And with only 4 climbers still to go, that will be enough. She can't be displaced in the top 8. She'll be in the final tonight. She looks pretty happy with that.
Yep.
Here's Jakob Schubert. As I say, we just keep an eye on the top left of your screen for the men's results. Roman de Grand still the only man with the top here. Jakob Schubert out of Innsbruck. As I say, we had a really fun day filming with him on Tuesday, I think. Made a nice profile of him, and that's going to appear on the IFSC Facebook page. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we climbed a really nice crag. It's called Artsberg Clam. It's in a big gorge above Telfs in the Inn Valley.
Oh, that's
cool place.
Yeah.
He'd never been there. Grew up in Innsbruck, and I said, "Oh, we go to Artsberg Clam," and he said, "Where's that?"
Really?
Yeah, never been.
Oh, that must have been fun.
So she got her hand on the top, but just too much momentum to make it stick there for Mina.
Yeah, I couldn't really see the left side of that. It might have been a little better there.
It was quite a good insight, actually, talking about Jakob when we went to Artsberg Clam. We got to a big steep wall there, and it wasn't in the guidebook I had. Most of the crags in the guidebook, and I had an area in mind that we were going to film. And Jakob said, no, let's go to the steep bit, let's go to the steep bit. And I said, yeah, okay, but I don't have the guidebooks, I don't know what the grades are. And he said, well, I mean, as long as it's below 8C, I don't really mind. I thought, going to the crag with Jakob is a bit different to going just with me. As long as it's below 8C, I don't really mind.
I like the style. I like the style, though.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I'm very much about that as well, I guess. Just I'm not here for the grade if I'm climbing outside or anything like that. Don't care. Yeah. Do not care. I'm just looking for the fun.
Well, I'm just trying to work out which routes I can actually get off the floor on. Jakob didn't seem too concerned with that. It's just looked like that. Those compression moves there were making him fight a bit, Jakob. Heading towards the roof. He's not won a World Cup, of course, this year, Jakob. In the past, we've seen him dominating seasons, but this year, no wins.
He's doing well. It does seem like he's rushing it a little bit.
Coming off the back of a second in Imst. Yeah, you can see the exertion beginning to show on his face.
That's right. All right, looking a little more relaxed here. I'm getting a little shakeout. That might help a little bit.
Getting some encouragement from the crowd. I might be able to hear that coming through our microphones.
Yeah, go Jacob. Oh, Jakob, pardon.
His compatriot Magdalena Rock is out on the women's route. You can see her there. She made a blistering start.
All right, yeah, he's making it through it though. Yeah, looks comfortable on that compression.
Yeah, that's the second to last clip. You can see the last clip. It was just in the top right of the screen. It's just disappeared. It should come back now. This will be enough for the final here.
That's right. All right, let's see how bad he wants that top.
I'm sure he won't know just exactly what he's got to do, so we'll keep going. That'll be enough. He'll make it from there.
That's right.
Just take his time. up onto this next stretch. Of course, he's won World Cups in both lead and boulder, Jakob, so these sloping bouldery volumes won't trouble him too much, you wouldn't have thought. Are we about to
Looking
see
strong,
top number
though.
2?
I think so.
Place your bets now,
I think
please.
so. I think so. Ah! Ah! Spoke too soon. I was really hoping to see him just go for the dynamic move. I know he's good at that.
Let's have a look. We could just
Had he made that hold, I think he would have gotten that top.
Just have a look at him. Doesn't look. Just as a quick joke with Angelo, the organizer of this Arco event. I think Jakob probably knows that's enough. So still only one top, and it's Romain de Grange. And I have to say, he never really looked troubled the whole route. That was ominous for the final. Of course, the routes will be very different, but we just see Jakobs just on time make his way over. He was about to head towards us, but the officials point him back to the official exit from the stage. So Jakob was.
Had some problems with that earlier.
It's not always that obvious.
No.
So there's Magda Rock. She won in Imps last week.
Yeah, Magdalena looking very comfortable here.
Yeah, she climbed really well last week. It was great to watch, especially in front of a home crowd. And there you can see top left of your screen, Romain de Grange. We just mentioned him. Top Ramonet in second place. He had his hand on the top hold. It wasn't quite enough.
Oh.
Magda never gives too much away, but that is a disappointed looking Magda Rock.
Yeah. I think that had a lot to do with her feet and just like her leg placement. It was a little odd.
It'd be interesting to get a replay of that. There you go, as I say, never shows a huge amount of emotion when she's out on the wall. She was pretty happy with her result last week, though, I think it'd be fair to say.
Yeah.
And then we see in the women's competition, Anne-Sophie currently leads away, so Mina Markovic, Julia Shadodi making up the rest of the podium. There are, of course, 3 more climbers to go, so that top 5, including Magdalena, who didn't look very happy, will make the final. The 3 below them will all be watching nervously. So Magda takes 5th place on the count back to qualification result. So it just goes to show you've got to give it everything in every round, because right now that qualification result means that she's in 5th, not 6th, and that means she's in the final rather than watching it from the field here in Arco. Domen Skovic topped both routes yesterday, looked in brilliant form. Him and Janja Garnbret, 3 World Cup wins each from the 4 World Cups so far this year. The trophy cabinet at home, I hope they've got the option on an extension, because it's just getting bigger every week, it seems.
Yeah, but they're, another Slovenian climber. Like I said, they just crank them out. So strong.
So Doman's had an amazing season, 3 World Cup wins and 4. The only one he didn't win, he didn't even make the final. So from the evidence of this year, he's either on or off. And more often than not, he's been very much on it. You can see as well on the bottom right of your screen, Janja Garnbret, girlfriend of Domen and fellow winner of 3 World Cups in 2016.
Climbing side by side. That's just adorable.
Who said romance is dead? Both out at the same time in it. World Cup semi-final, and Domin.
Oh, whoa. A little slip up there, but he'll get it back.
Just had a foot slip there.
Yeah.
Needs to concentrate.
Yeah, let's see if he can get his composure back a little bit. That must have been a little scary.
Domin will be the last male competitor out today. So the current top 7 currently guaranteed a place in the final. Onto this bouldery section, and then
seems he's slowing down just a little bit. I think he's like trying to recover from that little foot slip there.
Yeah,
calm down a little. Seems good now though.
So it's in 8th place currently is Stefano Gisolfi. So he'll be the man that misses out if
nervously watching.
Domin does well. He will be nervously watching in front of, say, what will, as of November, be his hometown crowd. You can see bottom right of the screen, meanwhile, with Yanni Gambret doing what she does and having no trouble so far. Last week in IMS, the first time she hasn't won a World Cup this season. In lead, I should point out. We've also seen him in some boulder events. She hasn't won them. Until last week, she'd won every lead World Cup. Quite an extraordinary year so far from her. And the scary part is she's only 17. Worth pointing out, actually, that Yanni was one of the nominees for the Rock Legends Competition Award last night. Quite extraordinary at 17.
Domin's looking good.
He is, yeah. Stefano Gisolfi, as I say,
very comfortable doing that. Yeah, didn't do the high foot. That is what I would have recommended. Yeah. Was able to kind of step back and like find the hold on the other side of that volume. Jana also looking very comfortable.
So the two Slovenian climbers, the dominant forces in 2016. You have to say if either of them didn't make the finals, it would be a huge surprise. Domin's so controlled that to see his face close up, showing a vaguest sign of effort. That's about as far as you go, though.
Oh, we got a little leg shake there. Oh, wow. I'm not sure if you see that, but you can see his legs just shaking.
He has, he's got what we call the Elvis legs.
Yeah.
That's good to know it happens to the pros as well.
Yeah, it is good. Happens to the best of us. These are hard. These are hard routes.
And we're seeing Yanni Gambret. She's certainly done enough to make this women's final. I suspect we might be on for a top here. She looks very controlled.
Yeah, going back for the shakeout, trying to...
From what little we can see of it in that bottom right, we're focusing on Domin. He's heading for the final section of this wall. No, we won't see a top from Yanya. Will we see a top from Domin?
Let's see.
Onto the final panel of wall here. He'll go right hand.
Let's see if he gets this left.
Then left hand.
Looking.
No.
And that'll be it for the men.
That is it for the men. So Domin will be safely through. We'll confirm the top 8 for you in just a second. Yanya walked off, doesn't look over the moon. I can tell you, Yanya, you've done enough, don't worry. They'll be able to compare notes backstage in just a second. timed that perfectly. So we've still got 2 female climbers to go. We've got Anna Verhoeven and Jane Kim still to come. There goes Dom, and he looks a bit disappointed. I'm quite surprised by that. Actually, he's mind you, I suppose he always like a top.
Yeah.
So Ahmed Torre, member of Team USA, is alongside me here in the commentary box. We're being treated to an excellent, if slightly warm, semi-final here in Arco. So let's have another look at Yanni. We only saw her in the mini picture on your screen. She's just readjusting. Yeah, the best bit of that hole is actually slightly higher up. I think she knew that's enough.
A little content wave to the crowd.
So here's Anna, very scientific climber. She really
very controlled, yeah.
Yeah, really studies how to climb routes, how to manage her pace. You see her yesterday in the qualifying round. I saw her timing how long the other climbers were taking on the route so she could judge her pace. Really tries to think through her climbing. Keep an eye on the top left of your screen. We're going to have a quick recap of the men's results. So that will be our final tonight. The top 8 climbers as you see them come up. Adam Ondra makes it through in 7th, and Sebastian Halenka, he makes it in 8th. He was disappointed with his climb. He needn't have been. He'll make it to the final. It's Stefano Gasolfi, unlucky. 9th place. He would have loved to have been there, but no. Anna Verhoeven. It's a very controlled style we've seen from her. There's her and Jane Kim to come. Don't expect either of them to race up this route. They'll just keep up the pace they think they need. Of course, Anak
trying to make it to finals.
Yeah, Anak, of course, in the final last week, timed out.
Really?
Timed out in IMSS, which is easily done because it's such a huge wall. But for somebody that pays such close attention to timing,
figure, yeah.
Apologies if you're getting a bit seasick there. Our camera's mounted high up on the wall, and it's getting blown around by the wind. It's moving about a bit more than we'd like. Not much we can do. We're going in between now and the finals. We're going to have a look if we can bolt it a bit more securely, but apologies if you feel a bit seasick. I know I was.
All right, yep, making it through that pinch section. Let's see.
Yeah, she's a bit like Jane, who's still to come. It just never looks like Anak is struggling. So focused.
Very calm, just looking at the next move ahead of her.
Anak is one of the climbers who has a song the local DJs often play. They often play Hallelujah when she's climbing. She said she doesn't mind it. Yep, she is. She describes herself as climbing for Jesus. She's has a very strong Christian faith. And as I say, the DJs at the venues do have occasionally been known to play Hallelujah when she climbs. Who said they haven't got a sense of humour?
Yeah, like I said, everybody needs a song. Yeah, right.
So she's heading out left now to the big black volume with the tick mark. We've seen lots of climbers find different ways of doing this. It's consumed a lot of time for some of them, and
I think she'll just
not so much.
Go for the reach. She seems tall enough to keep the heel and get on that really good part of the volume right there.
There we go. Straight onto the best part of the hole. No messing about.
Very controlled.
Clips quite early on so she can get through this compression section without having to worry about the rope.
As strong as she looks right now, I believe she'll, let's see if she clips off. Yep. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, there she goes. A little higher.
You were thinking she was going to clip from a couple of moves lower.
I thought she was going to clip from that right hand on the volume right there, but nope. I thought her foot placement is actually honestly a lot better. Yeah, no, good on her for doing that.
So that move up to the right hand hole she's just gone to there has looked quite tricky when some of the ladies have done it, but not for Anak.
I couldn't see from the other ankle there, but there is a little thumb catch on that sloper. The tiniest little one. Yeah.
Well, Anak Verhoeven
looking so calm.
Yeah, looks so calm. This is.
I'm thinking we'll have another top here.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen a top on this women's route yet. We'd
oh,
like
yeah,
to
that's
see
right.
One.
Yeah.
We saw Anne-Sophie Collick so close.
Oh, yep. Made that look easy. Here we go. And here it comes. Here it comes. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Anak Verhoeven.
Fantastic.
The first person to do so. What a statement. Never won a World Cup, been on 6 podiums without winning one. Is today the day? Last week in Imst, when Janja Garnbret fell early on, you thought it might be her day, but no. Anak timed out. Today, top both qualifying routes and the semi-final routes. Hallelujah to that. Let's have another look at that. It looked as if, I think you can tell from the look on her face, she wasn't going to let go of that. So that's a top from Anak. So this is the second World Cup in a row where Janja Garnbret hasn't looked quite the dominant force we might have expected. Anak Verhoeven didn't manage to take advantage last week in Imst. Can she do it here in Arco in the Italian sunshine? And as you can see from that camera, wind. It's our wall-mounted camera blowing about there. And there's our crowd now enjoying slightly more shade. There's Jan Hoyer in the black t-shirt. Anyone else spotted him just to the right of the chap in the yellow in the middle?
Oh, yeah, there he is.
How's that for spotting? Eagle-eyed. I know my climbers when I see him.
Yeah, you do.
There is, of course, an international event, not an IFSC World Cup, hence us not live streaming it. There is an international boulder event taking place this weekend here in Arco. I believe Rustam Gelmanov's also here. Haven't seen him yet. He, of course, was in the commentary box in Munich. I know a lot of people enjoyed that. He's done a couple of lead comps as well already, Rustam. He climbed in Briançon back in July with countryman Alexei Rubtsov. So this is our last climber of the semi-final, Jane Kim.
See her at a ton of events. So many. Very seasoned athlete.
Yes. Jane always keeps up that same pace. As I say, we filmed with her on Sunday, I think it was, and you will see that profile appear soon. Yep, climbs just as well outdoors as she does indoors, Jane Kim, I can assure you. So you can see there, women, top left of your screen, the women's results. Anak Verhoeven top, so the top 7, there they come, guaranteed of a place. It's Mathilde Becerra who will be sweating watching Jane Kim, because Jane can take her place in the final. Magda Rock, last week's winner, who didn't look very impressed with her performance today, has done enough to make it into the final. Jane, we'd expect nothing less, just
looking very calm.
Cruising through this low section. The pace never varies much. Fantastic climbing style. 25 lead World Cup wins for Jane Kim.
Yep.
And she's also won a Boulder World Cup. So she can pretty much do it all. She was, of course, world champion and overall lead World Cup champion in 2014, second overall in 2015. Currently sitting in 3rd in the standings for 2016. 4th, excuse me. fourth.
I don't expect she'll have any trouble with the pinch section here.
Now, just before we... that looked like a long reach for Jane, but no trouble. It's very rare we see her move quite so quickly.
Yeah, she got a little above it, honestly.
I was just about to say, before we go off air and return later on for the finals, I'll just quickly run you through the overall standings. In the women's competition, Janja Garnbret leads the way, 351 points. Magdalena Rock now in second with 271. Anak Verhoeven, 255. She's in third. Jane Kim, who we're watching now, is on 250 in fourth place. Jessie Piltz, 157 points. She's in fifth, with Mina Markovic in sixth on 149. Just to give you some idea before the final this evening. So, meanwhile in the men's competition, I'll be quick and we'll keep an eye on Jane Kim. Doman Skofic leads the way. He's on 325 points, ahead of Jakob Schubert on 232. Sean McCall, who's not here today, he's on 208. Stefano Gasolfi, who's narrowly missed out on the place in the final, 201. 1 point behind him, 200 points, Gutierrez upper. And Roman de Grange, who topped the men's route, the only man to do so, is on 190 points in sixth place overall. So there you go, there is the standings, the overall competitions this year.
Very impressive top by Roman earlier, my God.
So both routes top. This is a route setter's dream. 2 or 3 climbers onto the top section of both men's and women's routes, and 1 top on each. So far, it would not be a huge surprise if Jane Kim was to top as well. Anak Verhoeven, who's got a similar controlled style, was top this route. Here she is onto the black volume, Jane.
Just creeping, yeah, just creeping into it. Just creeping.
Gotta say, it would be a big surprise if
she fell there. Yeah, I would have.
Yeah. I hope we didn't wear her out filming on Sunday. I don't think so.
Very even pace throughout.
Yeah, this is more Jane's style, you'd have thought, this section. And as you can see, not troubled at all by those moves through the volumes, really cruising.
She just doesn't even seem phased by it, nothing. Yeah. Facial expression is just the same. Come on, Jane.
Really onto the...
Oh, nice. Yeah, so smooth. There we go.
Final tough section here. Here's the big move up right. This will be harder for her than it was for Anak. Jane much shorter, of course. Let's have a look.
And yeah, she stuck it. There it is. Really using that thumb there. There we go.
No problem for Jane. Yeah, as you say, there is a little bolt on that hold. Quite hard to spot. You can just see it now, very white from being so covered in chalk. Now she's fighting.
That's a bit earlier.
Jane Kim, that'll be enough for a place in the final.
That will be enough.
So we'll recap the results for you before we leave. Let's just have last look at Jane. So this was a move I thought she might struggle with. No problem. Feet came well off and she swung out, but managed to stay on. There she is. Looks equally as calm as when she walked out the climb. And she has her shoe covers returned, so it's good service here in Italy. And we just
noticed the little spots. I noticed the little spots on Jane over there. It seems to be like a more a popular thing going on with the Olympics too. And
it's to do with blood circulation, apparently. As we recap the men's results, so Roman de Grange, the only man to top the men's route. He'll be joined in the final by Ramane, Jakob Domen, Dimitri, Francesco, Adam and Sebastian. Stefano Gisolfi narrowly misses out. Adam Ondra, the much talked about return of Adam Ondra. He wasn't quite at his best today. ended up 7th. Ubam
Just enough to get in.
Yep, down in 12th. He might have hoped for better, as might Sasha Lehman, but alas.
No dice.
And we'll confirm the women's results very shortly for you. Sean Bailey again, a man that might have been hoping for a bit better, as well as Gutierrez up, but that was a big surprise, him falling so low down. And in the women's competition, Anna Verhoeven, the only woman to top. She'll be joined in the final by Anne-Sophie Collet, who came so close to topping Mina Markovic, Yanya Gambra, Yulia Shanodi, Jane Kim, Yuka Kobayashi, Mathilde Becerra. They will make up the final 8. Mathilde Becerra have been upgraded there. She overtakes Magda Rock, who was provisionally in 8th. We'll find out why that was in time for the finals. So some big names down there. None of them quite make it into the top 8. So a great start to our live coverage this weekend in Arco. Big thank you to Ahmed Torre for joining me.
Hey, and anytime, loved it.
We will be live for the speed finals at 6:15 p.m. Arco time, and the lead finals will follow at 8 p.m. We'll see you then.